Thanks for joining us here at the United Grassroots Workout. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, an undisclosed location. But first things first, we got a ton of talent on the floor. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by Lewis Preston and Barry Browner, a couple members of the Georgia Hoop Circle. More on the way. Fellas, man, we got a great event, a great cause. Your thoughts on being a part of what I feel is basketball history here in Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time, fellas, that this has probably ever happened in Atlanta, where you got so much talent under one roof, just different organizations, and these guys are just playing. You get to see the best talent. We know that Georgia's the hotbed, Lou. So this is an excellent opportunity to see all this talent under one roof.
You know, for me, selfishly, being a former coach, I look at it as a great chance to not only see these different young men from these different programs, AAU programs, to come under one roof, but another chance to have a chance to evaluate and to see some of their strengths as well as some of their weaknesses and how they're going to get better here over the course of the next few hours.
I definitely think, you know, like I said, you see a couple of guys out here. See Jared Rosser, just saw Rico Holman. Just looking at Ryan Howard, Issa Muhammad. So, you know, like I said, it's a lot of good talent.
There's a lot of great talent here, and I think even more importantly, it's also showing you the unity that the different programs here in this hotbed that we like to call Hotlanta, that they're coming together under one roof for the sake of getting guys better. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are going to go on, and whether it's Division I, Division II, or wherever they might go, the fact that they're a part of this historic day right here, the fact that we are at the Georgia Hoop Circle, SUV TV is part of this historic day, it's about taking grassroots basketball to another level.
I mean, you're in a situation where I see a lot of good trainers, guys that are training guys around the state, some of the top-notch trainers, like I said, and they're all here under one roof, man. Like I said, kick back, relax. You want to see some Georgia basketball, you really need to check this out.
And let's mention a few of those trainers that are here. Obviously, you got Desmond Eastman, who this was essentially part of his brainchild as far as bringing this together. You've got Mark Edwards. You've got Nick Stapleton. You've got Abraham Millsap, a member of the Core Four, the Millsap brothers here that run this facility. That's not even an exhaustive list. You got Coach Rob, also another trainer on staff, and we'll let you know more about our training staff here as the day goes on. But just a lot of talent both on the floor and training-wise, man.
And you know, one of the things, Marcus, Otis Hooley right now, who's actually putting them through this transition, this full-court transition drill right now. One of the things a lot of people don't know about him is the fact that he's had high school success, college success, NBA success. Just talking to him before he got started, he just got back from China, coaching over in China here in late February, early March. So once again, these guys are going to get the best of the best out here, and they got to be able to soak it all in while they're moving at full speed.
No doubt about it. And like I said, like talent breeds talent. You know, some of the guys we got out here, Josh Nickelberry, Isaac Core, Charles Smith, like I said, Rodney Howard, Thea. So like I said, this is much talent, you know, you guys out on the floor right now.
I mean, a good collection. You got some of your guys, you know, that are a little bit more widely heralded, but then you got some other guys that are on the radar but get a chance to take advantage of competing against some of the other more heralded names. You got a player like a Brandon Suggs out of McEachern. You've got a Malachi Rhodes from Eagles Landing Christian Academy. You've got Alan Breed from McEachern. You've got Rico Holloman, a player who I'm especially looking forward to seeing in some of those competitive defensive drills. Just with his penchant for always being able to step up to the challenge defensively. So
and Marcus, you were talking about Rico. I mean, Rico's I think he's probably one of the best junior defenders in the state right now. Tell you a guy that I want to see, Rosser. Rosser's going to be interesting for me. He wasn't at the All-Star game yesterday in Gainesville, but it'll be interesting to see him out here because I think he's got a chance to blossom, fellas.
Well, you know what? I'm very interested in seeing Jalen McQuarrie from Kennesaw Mountain. And had a chance to put my eyes on him a couple times, knowing that I live up in that Northwest Cobb area. I'm waiting to see how his talent is overall and how is he going to blend in and stand out here. in this great collection of talent, not only guards and forwards, but we're talking about big men as well. So this is, I mean, for me being a basketball guy, for all of us being a basketball, I mean, this is like Sunday, this is Sunday lunch, dinner, and then some, but a little dessert on top.
I mean, Marcus, who are you? I mean, what's the guy that's standing out to you? I got one, y'all, but.
I mean, I got a couple, man. There's so many different dynamics to choose from. As you see, Ashton Hagens just now arriving as well. I say, you know, I think Brendan Tucker is a guy that I'm really going to keep an eye on today, because it's so much talent in Georgia that I think the talent that you had at Decula, when you look at Mikal Bethea and Brendan Tucker, I tell you what, that Decula 1-2 punch is a pair that I'm keeping my eyes on today, because they played a lot of good ball out there. They're two of the better guards here in the state. But I just think when you look at 7A all the way down to what we have private A, it's easy for certain things to get lost in the shuffle. And I think those two guys are two of the better guards in the state. What better place to show it than right here today?
Well, we just talked about Sharif Cooper and Brandon Boston, Akambola. They just got in here back behind us with McEachern and then playing with AOT. So I'm looking for how those guys are going to come out here, get warmed up, and then get going. Hey, there's a lot of great things. There's always been some questionable things said about this whole scene here in Atlanta. The great thing here today, especially being a former coach, 20 years in the business, and having an opportunity to, you know, coach against and do some different things with some of the people organizing, from Des Eastman to Coach Hewley, is the fact that we're all here for these young men to get better. We're all here for that. We're here to put our eyes on and have an opportunity to see these young men get better, because what you see now, and I tell people this all the time, good players become great players in the spring and in the summer. And the fact that they're out here on a Sunday afternoon when they could have had a lot of other places and made a lot of other excuses to not come, the fact that they're here says a whole lot to me.
I think the time of the year is key, because you've either finished a state champion, you've either fallen short on top of that as far as your high school career, but also you're seeing March Madness. You see a lot of players' hard work come to fruition in shining moments. You're seeing other players, you know, be able to deal with the ups and downs that come with competing at a high level. So I think this is where the work happens, so that before you're hitting that big shot in a state title game, a regular season game, or even a March Madness, if you're that blessed to be able to do so, this is the type of setting where you work and get better long before the bright lights come on.
Anytime you got a guy like Issa Muhammad. Issa Muhammad is real curious to me. We saw him in the state playoffs, right? And we got an offer from Iowa State. Interesting to see where he's going to blossom and grow as his AAU season kicks off. What better way to see him get a sneak peek right now?
Well, you know, once again, when they played McEachern, he had that double-double. So once again, we know that he has the ability and the talent to do it. Does he have the consistency and the drive to do it day in and day out? Because once again, as a coach, right, especially where you're making a living between these 18 to 23, 24-year-olds, I got to make sure that you have that consistency. Consistency breeds minutes in my mind.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Ian Hardy slammed that one down. That's another player out of Discovery. And again, it's just for every 2 or 3 guys that you say you're keeping an eye on, and you've noticed throughout the season, you have 2 or 3 guys to where, oh man, he's in here too. Glad to have him here.
I know there's some guys right now that wish that they would have made it over to this and had a chance to be out here with this great collection of talent.
Hey, what about a kid like Zaire Eastman? Played this whole summer. Played the whole year. Was started at the point guard for that Wheeler squad that got to the Elite Eight. So I mean, you gotta think though, what does that do for him playing on this stage?
I mean, I think it's great for him not only to be able to show his different talent, his different ability, but also more importantly, to go up against different bodies, not the same bodies you're going up against. The fact that you're going to see each other in competition at somewhere during the spring or the summer, but now to kind of get a feel of where you're at, what you need to work on, what you need to get better at. And then also, I have some strengths as well here that can help to lead a team towards whether it is a summer championship or in preparation for next year.
Right. And talk about the strengths and weaknesses. Being able to identify those strengths, but also work on those areas of weakness. What difference does it make to be in this type of setting? Okay, if I'm a coach, I can watch an organized game and I can pick up things from there, but given the drill work and some of the competition that's going to happen here today, describe the value of being able to see a player compete in these types of different settings with these different matchups.
Well, to me, the strength, to a lot of coaches, the strength of this is very plain and simple. What is your competitive fire? Can you move on from a mistake? Because this is going to move pretty much at college and game speed. So can you move on from that? More importantly is, where am I compared to another guy? So for instance, for Issa Muhammad, right, where are my skills in regards to Akinbola? All right, because they're going to get a chance to probably go head to head at some point. Where am I in regards to that? We saw what he did against McEachern in the Elite Eight matchup. So once again, to be out here in this setting, that's where that competitive juice is and that fire.
What about a Brandon Boston and the Isaac Okoro?
Absolutely.
What about a Jared Rossa who hasn't played McEachern, but he's probably gonna get a chance to go up against one of these guys today. Like I said, it's really, and then you're talking about point guards. I mean, so many good point guards in here right now. Like I said, led by Ashton Hagens, Zaire Eastman.
Sharif Cooper's here. Right.
Like I said, it'll be interesting to see these good one-on-one matchups, y'all, when they start running.
Right now we have Mark Edwards putting them through a little bit of a dribbling drill overall. Kind of, once again, we talked about we were going to build up into the plan, but you just can't go out and play. You got to have that skill and drill and that fundamental work that goes along with it. So this is very important as well. For me as a college coach, I like to look at, in the way that the game has changed, can my big man handle the ball for when I got to have dribble handoffs, right? Can they catch the ball in that pinch post area at the elbow and make the necessary passes needed to the guards? This is all very valuable across the board, and you cannot take this for granted. This might be one of, if not the most important piece here today, besides the fact of all the young men that have shown up here for this opportunity today.
Coach, you made a great assessment of the Atlanta area by mentioning how you can go around the 285 perimeter and you can really find a gamut of players that can play at various levels, all the way from the high major all the way down throughout the different levels. And I think even when you look at this prop, even though you got a lot of high D1s in there, you go all the way down to the mid-major category and just a lot of different guys that are great at their various fits.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. From a mid-major perspective, this is like fantasy land. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of guys in here that we might not know anything or not know as much about, but we're going to come out of here with a much better feel. And then these are the young men that you end up seeing, make that game-winning shot.
Oh, yeah.
Make that shot to take them to the Sweet 16, or to have that moment like we've seen with UMBC versus Virginia. Jarius Lau just came out and just was on fire. We have that type of talent here, those types of names. So it's just great for some people putting a face to a name, but I think even more importantly, having an opportunity to see these guys compete against each other fresh off state championships, state playoffs, with a bunch of other distractions, but the fact that they want to get better and that they're in here today.
I think you'll see some guys also move up the ladder a little bit as far as, people saying that they're low major guys or mid majors. Playing against a high major guy and really having a good outing could be the difference.
Absolutely.
I think when you look at one of the best things that I like about this event is I think social media and the digital tools that we have available, I think it's great for expression and things of that nature, but sometimes it's nothing like just getting in there and doing it.
Right.
And with this event, it's not just talking unity, it's not just talking about the work, it's not talking about, different clubs, putting their club monikers aside and kind of working together. This is actually case in point. So a job well done, even though we still have plenty of time to get better here.
Absolutely, and once again, we talked about the Dez was thought about this and was the person who came up with this thought process in regards to bringing up Grassroots United. I think it's very important. And I think one of the more important things about this is we all talk about these different factions of AAU basketball, but at the same time, we all together for a purpose of making these young men the best that they can be, whether they stay here in the state or whether they go out of state. We want all these young men to have an opportunity to play ball at the level that they need to play at and to help them for the next 50 to 60 years of their lives.
But if you look at, if you watched the NCAA tournament the other day, you saw a lot of Georgia kids on display. You saw Colin Sexton. We know about Colin Sexton. We know about Bryce Brown, Chuma, Jared Harper. But also, what about a guy like Kevon Harris and Aaron Augustin and Stephen F. Austin? What about those guys? What about a DeAndre Ballard at Florida?
Exactly.
So, I mean, like I said, Georgia is the one place. If you can recruit Georgia, man, you can build your whole team in the state of Georgia because there's so much talent.
Well, I can tell you this. There's no doubt in my mind, every school in the Power 5 conferences makes their way down to Georgia to eye talent. And the same thing with mid-majors as well. And that was part of the 2 decades of being an assistant and head coach, was always making sure, to me, this was like becoming like the pilgrimage to Mecca, to come here in regards to seeing how much talent. And sometimes some of the best talent is hidden. And this is where also it's important. Some of the guys that we like to call that have fallen through the cracks get the chance to, showcase their talent and show you what they really have.
No doubt about it.
So, fellas, let's look at some of the state championship storylines or the playoff storylines here in Georgia and some of the guys representing that today. Obviously, they're already working towards next season, but I think a lot of their development, some of the work that they put in last offseason, it showed through with a lot of guys. We mentioned Issa Muhammad, a huge game against McEachern as Norcross moved on. But let's look at the year that some of those same McEachern guys have when you look at a Sharif Cooper and Isaac Okoro or Babatunde Akinbola, all the way to your Allen Breeds, your Devin Gordons, and your Brandon Suggs, who also had good seasons and were a part of that McEachern juggernaut.
Right. I mean, you look at some of the teams that are represented. You look at Rico Holman, who's coming off a Final Four appearance with the Grayson Rams and Coach Joffrey Pierce.
While you mention Rico Holman, in your opinion, who did the best job of defending Ashton Hagens all season? And not to say he locked him up, but who did the best job, relatively speaking, of defending Ashton Hagens?
No doubt about it. Rico Holman, it was a tough guard for, like I said, Ashton's usually been able to dominate everybody, but Rico's been so physical. And like I said, he was able to get up under him and he actually made him give the ball up. And I don't know if you were catching that, but like I said, in the game that we covered that they took the win, that was a big deciding factor.
Let me ask you, because one of the things a lot of people say when you get up under him, one of the interesting things watching a Rico Holman, he locks you up without fouling you. And he makes you so uncomfortable and takes you out of your game. Sometimes he gets a couple offensive fouls because the guy, like, he's guarding you as soon as you get off the bus. Can you talk a little bit more about that in regards to how that's going to translate for him wherever he decides to go to college?
Well, I'm looking at Rico. Rico's about, 6'4", 6'5". Kind of long arms, like I said. He's strong. He's a little stronger than he appears. But like I said, because he's able to get up under you, he's got quick hands, and he's able to move his feet. If you can move your feet, you can play defense. And that's one of the things that he does really well without making fouls. And like I said, at the end of the day, he brings guys. What he does is he'll make you. I think Ashton had a couple of foul calls in that game because Ashton was more frustrated than anything, bumping him off, pushing him off. So like I said, a guy like Rico Holman is going to be a good get for somebody on that mid-major and maybe high-major level.
Well, I will tell you this, being a former big man, watching Issa Muhammad handle this basketball has been impressive for me right now. Because I always like to see how big men handle the rock. Akinbola's got some things that he can definitely work on there. But big men that can handle the rock and do a variety of different things with the basketball has an opportunity once again. Consistency breeds minutes on the basketball floor.
When we're talking about players, Marcus, you're talking about the state playoffs. Let's talk about Kamar Robertson from Cambridge. Like I said, Cambridge made a great run this year, y'all. Like I said, he and Terrell Brown were big for that Cambridge squad. So like I said, it'll be interesting to see. They weren't playing this level of talent, you know, on the high school level day in and day out. But now being out here, like I said, you're going to get those good matchups.
And that's a great point. That I think that says he's already turned enough heads there at Cambridge to get the invite, but it also, you know, if you're at a Cambridge, it's going to take a while to be able to get those invites to certain tournaments, to be able to be in the mix to where you really get those proving ground type of matchups. You get in a hoops game, you get in a tournament of champions, and some of those types of events. So if I can come here and face a lot of those guys that were mainstays at a lot of those national tournaments that Atlanta hosted, then it's a great way for me to be able to showcase my skills.
What about a guy that you've seen, that I think you saw at FCI, Josh Nickelberry?
Nickelberry, man, I mean, his ability just to be able to score the ball in a variety of ways. He can score it at all three levels. Another member of that very solid Game Elite 2019 squad. Shout out to Coach Chris Williams. Also, you know, a few of the program heads and coaches that are coming together here. We mentioned Coach Chris Williams, Game Elite 2019. Also, Omar Cooper and Damon Wilson, AOT. Coach Rico Holloman, the Atlanta Celtics, representing as well.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all a guy that y'all got to watch, though. I saw him as a freshman. There's a kid at Parkview, Amir
Longley. I'm going to say Longley, and we'll make sure we get that pronunciation. I took French in high school, so I had to find some sort of use for it. So I'm hoping that Longley makes all of those French courses there in high school work.
He's a guy, I think, that can definitely blow up in this spring event. And like I said, when the spring hits. So like I said, there's so much talent out here, man. We gonna welcome in my man. Never get tired, never sleep. He ain't got the coffee today, y'all, but he ready though. Welcome in my man Joe Hills.
What's up, my brothers?
What's going on, man?
Y'all tell me. I'm just showing up at the party.
Well, you know, once again, it's kind of like a reunion with you and McEachern over here, with the AOT squad over here, Sharif, and we got Sharif, we got Charles over here, we got Akinbola, we got Okoro. So, I mean, I thought that they were going to give you gonna give you a varsity leather jacket in the pre ceremonies, but I think that's going to be saved for the banquet.
Me and Joe hung out yesterday. We talked Gainesville basketball. Now we're going to talk some city basketball. What's the guys you looking forward to seeing coming into this? You watched a lot of basketball this year. So what's the guy that you're looking forward to seeing as we get started?
Did y'all talk about the roster list?
Yeah, we talked about it, but you can go over it again.
No. I'm just trying to figure out. I looked at it several times. I'm trying to figure out who I didn't see this year. It's only like a handful of them that I didn't see this year. And that's not just saying anything. That's just showing the talent that we see. You know?
Y'all know me. I like to go find a guy that's down south ain't nobody talking about. Welcome Jalen Williams to the party.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Real
Welcome
tough.
Jalen Williams to the party. Very tough. 6'7" guy. Do a little bit of everything. He's going to be a tough guy. And like I said, we get going and we see this. Should be very interesting.
I mean, really, man, you talked about Breed. I think Allen Breed underrated. Rodney Howard is coming on. Brendan Tucker is coming on. We saw how Roscoe Eastman played during the year at the point guard spot. I think he ascended as the year went on. And then everybody else, you know the name, just about. And I think that's what's going to make this event, as they say, it's not about wins and losses, it's about getting better, because you only going to get better when you play the best.
Let me ask you this, Joel, because you traveled extensively calling games throughout the state this year. What do you see as an advantage of having an opportunity to see these guys, not with the high school teams, but in this competitive setting, you know, especially with your background in basketball, knowing that, you know, the shot doctor himself, but we can talk about that later. But where do you see, once again, your extensive coverage for SUV TV and a variety of other networks where you feel like this can be advantageous for all these young men?
Because you playing, I mean, you upping your level of competition. Everybody in here is good now.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like when you get an invite to USA basketball, everybody's in there good now. It actually is a better workout competitive-wise, but then let's say you have to part the field down to 15. So now you really, you know, I'm just using that as an example. I think a lot of the young men out here, some of them looking to have, you know, we may know their name, but we may not know all levels of their game, and this is a way that they can show that. So, I mean, it's just so, man, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Muhammad. We talked about Muhammad in the playoffs. You know, against McKeechin, he stepped up really big. You know.
He stepped up against McKeechin and got an offer the next day from Iowa State.
Exactly. I mean,
so you talk about that and you say to yourself, Iowa State sees something. I had a chance to talk to one of the assistants at Iowa State recently and talked about Muhammad. So like I said, it's interesting to see that. But I'll tell you what, as a former high school coach, I will tell y'all this. A lot of times we always say, man, when we watch, you know, guys want to play AAU, they come back to us and we got to fix some stuff. I think this is going to be different because I think these guys are getting a lot of skill work. And I think that's very important.
Good. Well, on the mic right now, we have Otis Hewley. For a lot of people who don't know, Otis and I go way back in the day with DeMarcus Cousins, and Otis has been successful on the high school level, been successful on the college level, has been in the NBA level, was just recently over in China and just got back. Coach, first of all, thank you for joining us here at the Georgia Hoop Circle on SUV TV. And first question I wanted to ask you was the transition drill that you put everybody through. Let's just break that down for everybody out there who's watching in regards to that transition drill. And what were some of the things, the positives you got out of that?
Well, it's a corporate teaching drill where you can break the game in half into its segments. Transition, you can even include some secondary break into it, and even secondary break right into your half-court offense. And then you can just break out of that and start doing your position work. But it's a nice warm-up drill. It gets the team acclimated to running 94 by 50. It gets them used to each other, and nobody stands around.
Right. Good, good. Coach, I talked about a little bit about your background. You know, expand on that even more from high school to college to the pros, overseas. Talk a little bit about your background so everybody can get to know a little bit more about you.
Well, I played for Bob Hurley Sr., St. Anthony's High School, Jersey City, New Jersey. My high school coach is one of two Hall of Famers. Morgan Root was the other. Bob Hurley Sr., we had 26 state championships out of 32, and 8 or 9 national championships. In high school, we only lost the national championship my senior year. Went on to junior college, played pro football, was a junior college head coach in Selma. That's when you sort of met me down there. We had a nice time down there, good men and women. Then left there, went to Wright State, Liberty. We were in the Big South together, and then from Liberty, went on to China. Coached, was a head coach in the CBA. Also was with Ben Jobe at Southern for a year before I went to China. And was over there, did pretty good. Came back, coached my son, so I went to high school, DeFleur High School. That's where we had DeMarcus Cousins, but we had 22 other Division I players down there. Had a pretty good time. And then from there, went on to Sacramento Kings, and then Sacramento Kings to Golden State Warriors. And then from there, as a full-time scout, went to China, coached over there as an assistant and head coach for South Africa. USA basketball fever. I guess you guys don't need to hear all the rest of it, but I guess that's enough.
Track, bro.
Yeah, that's track. I'm gonna ask you. So having worked at different levels, what are you seeing? Like, are you seeing a difference in how basketball is growing around the country? I mean, having been in the CBA, having been with Sacramento, been with Golden State. what are you seeing different in the growth of basketball?
Well, basketball is becoming positionless basketball. Draymond Green and John Millsap sort of messed that up for everybody. And now you got everybody that shoots it. When I came up, there was no three-point line.
Right.
So a two-pointer was a layup. If you took a jump shot, you might come out the game, unless you can really shoot. But now, you can't shoot, you can't really play. The thing that's lost is that mid-range game, the stuff in between. Guys that can play all, far out, mid-range, and in the paint, and can pivot off both feet.
Right.
Those kids tend to fare better when you can dribble, pass, and shoot. And the game was introduced overseas a long time ago by John McClendon, who was a descendant of John Naismith, was on that staff, who Ben Jones used to coach for and work with. They introduced the game to the Europeans, dribble, pass, and shoot. That's why they all can face. And the lane was like this. There wasn't no lane. That's why everybody that comes overseas are more equipped than we are, because they learn the game facing up. Tall, short, it doesn't matter what position. Right. They've been positionless forever. Right. They're just now catching on after the several years ago, prior to Coach K getting whooped in the Olympics. Right. We had to learn.
Right.
And I see some of the best talent I've seen in a while, but it's so hard to get my mind acclimated back to high school kids when we're so used to seeing pros and college guys. It's hard to know until you see them play.
So I'm gonna ask you this, because I know I do this, man. I'm a basketball head, man. That's all I think about. When you judging those college guys and the pro guys, and then you come down and judge high school guys, are you able to kind of decipher, like are you kind of hard on guys? You look at a guy and somebody say, oh man, he's a top player in the country, and you look at him and you're like, I don't know, because of what you've seen with the college and the pro.
Well, coach will tell you, there's 5-minute guys and there's guys you got to see 3 or 4 times. And UPS has a way to train their employees. They make you wash the truck. They make you do every job before you can be an executive. So I had to sort of UPS that thing. I had to learn that thing from the bottom up. Because I have the benefit of that vantage point, it's a little easier for me to shut off my mind and look at it in segments. In high school, okay, this is where they are. Because I've seen so many of them that people thought couldn't play that are playing in the NBA right now.
Right.
Like Jaylen Brown, he had to be put on a silver team. But because Dez was patient, and because Dez really wanted to reach all the kids and help all of them, he created another team. Now look where Jaylen is now. Well, that takes a commitment. Ham and egg breakfast, chicken donated, but the ham gave his life. Right. I think Dez is a ham. He gave his life to this.
Hillsman, I'm surprised you haven't asked any questions yet with this whole, with the background.
I don't have to on basketball net. Barry and I were talking about positionless basketball yesterday, and he rolled his eyes. So you got this over here that just said what I said. I'm done with it.
But why is the game so positionless?
But see, this is the thing. I'm gonna ask him this though, and I may be wrong on this. I still think that there's gonna be a day where the big man is back on the block. And you talk about there's no mid-range game. I work with some smaller kids. I'm no Dez, but one guy comes in the gym, he can shoot the 3. So I got tired of seeing him shoot the 3. I made him step in 13, 14 foot. Now he's struggling because even as he's growing and developing, he's so used to shooting so far away, he's not developing that. But do you see the big man potentially coming back where you just dump it down in there and let him go?
Yeah, he's got to go through that full cycle.
Okay.
Because he's behind in the game. Look, they even took the position out of the All-Star selection.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So until he comes full circle back around, that part won't, well, you're starting to have that with Marcus Cousins and Marcus Hall. Those guys can still do both.
Yes.
Well, they have to see that go through a couple of generations before that trickles down here. Right now, those guys, I want to face. So for a while, it's going to disappear. No. But it's not going to be extended.
And that brings back to a guy like Wendell Carter. So Wendell was kind of like that because Wendell was not, I saw Wendell in the 8th grade. and it was interesting to see him kind of just develop. He went from a guy that could face, and then he went to a guy that could post as well. Like I said, you just watch his all-around game and it matures. I was telling Joe yesterday, I love overseas basketball. I love FIBA basketball.
Yeah.
I wish we don't need 3 seconds. take the ball off the rim, rip and run. That's what I want to see. And I think that's what's going to help the big fellas kind of come back. It won't happen, but still.
No 3 second though. I can't wrap my head around that, because that's why the defensive 3 second became so important. So nobody can sit there and camp in the paint.
But how many big guys can really, they're really watching their feet for them to get in and out of the lane?
You should know that though. You should know that's court awareness. You're supposed to know where you are on the court at all times.
At that level is just part of cleansing yourself and let somebody come through.
Yeah.
When I get guys in China, the lockout really helped China because of the money. We got some of the best players. I just had Derek Williams, who was in Cleveland last year, and Pujetta. Well, a lot of them come to China and they cleansing themselves. And guys get layups. Dude, you can sit there.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. Once you put your mind in that direction, you stay there. Right. And once you shut it off, you get back to the NBA. Now you got to reset your mind again. But that defense of 3 seconds, that needs to stay because it opens the lane up.
Yeah.
Makes it more entertaining. They're not going to take it out.
Right. And I would say this.
For financial reasons.
But I will ask you this though. Is there a difference between finesse and with it being a little bit more European flow, which I like, did that take the physicality out of it?
No, because in Europe, they're really physical.
They are, but they don't.
Slow.
Yeah.
But most of them.
They just call it more over here.
Yeah, they just call it more over here. And if you're a foreigner, you're going to get less calls over there, for sure. So here, we want the game to be more entertaining. Those whistles are engineered by capitalism. That's what it's about here.
Don't get me started on them.
Over there, it's about the game more. It's still about money, but them fans don't pay their bills. The sponsors pay their bills. We don't have sponsors all over our jersey in the NBA. They do.
Right.
So
I'm glad we don't, though.
But another
one patch is enough.
Yeah.
Also, do you think it's because overseas they're able to turn pro early, or they're 16?
Well, they don't have that. They don't have that college system to slave the kids. And they get those kids as club players as soon as they identify them. They belong to the team.
Right.
So it's different. Here we got the college system that serves as the D League, really, the G League for our pro teams, and it's so full of money. They're not gonna let it go. They're gonna protect that.
And the reason why I ask you this is because I had a buddy that played. He got drafted by the Lakers out of Western Carolina. Didn't make the squad.
What's his
Frankie
name?
King.
Frankie, I know Frankie.
Frankie, my guy, man.
Frankie was
a
dog.
Oh, Frankie was an animal.
He know Frank.
So Frank came home. We all hung out in the summer. Frank said, "Man, it's a dude on my team. He's 16 years old." Frank was playing for Graveline in France. And he was like, "Man, dude, 16 years old, man. Y'all got to see this." Like, talking about Tony Parker.
Tony Parker, yeah.
Talking about Tony Parker. So, he was like, "He gonna be a pro, man. Just wait." And you know what I'm saying? He had to wait the 2 years or whatever to finally come over. But that's what I always wonder about the pro guys, being able to turn pro and being mature earlier than
because they become pros early.
Right.
They're on their own. They get their own money. They live away from home. Essentially, the team buys that kid from their family, and they go live with the team. Like this AAU, they live with it.
Right. One last
almost like an exchange, dude.
Right. One last question for you, Coach Hughley. I'm gonna let you get back out here because I see you moving back and forth. He got that natural coaching side in it. You talked about it earlier about USA basketball falling short. We go back to 2004. Where it fell short in regards to the Olympics. Where do you see that USA basketball got it back, especially with your coaching and being a part of USA basketball as well as FIBA? What have we done here to kind of keep ourselves separate from the European game? Because I've always said I thought the European game's catching up quicker than we think. What have we done to kind of keep that distance now?
We've identified shooters.
Okay.
Remember Michael Redd made that team?
Yes.
We put more shooters out there. 1 year Carmelo saved us. The next year Kevin Durant saved us. Then we had the Klay Thompsons. We got Steph. We got more shooters. See, when we were coming up, we just wanted the best athletes.
Yes.
And we couldn't necessarily shoot the ball. Somebody's on us, we struggled. But now we shoot the ball as well. So now we've made that separation again. It wasn't no excellent, it's the Moes and Joes that can shoot the ball.
Good. Well, Coach Hewley, thank you so much for being a part of the Georgia Hoop Soccer here on SUV TV, and look forward to seeing you again out here, not only with these young men, but more importantly, out on the court, representing not only our country, but representing USA basketball across the world.
Oh, no worries. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, Coach Hewley. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, man.
Gotta love that insight, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. But once again, you know, Coach Hewley and I go way back, almost 20 years now, and one of the things is, you know, Coach Hewley's here today to, you know, give some knowledge and wisdom from what he's learned at every single level of coaching, from high school all the way over to the international side, with stops in the CBA, in the G League, as well as in the NBA. So once again, these young men are going to be able to benefit from this opportunity with these great coaches that are all out here.
I'm loving this drill right here, though, because it's an easy chest pass to midcourt, then you snap around, you're trying to go and score, you're trying offense, and you're seeing a couple nice little up and under moves, you're seeing some good defense. You seeing teammates go against each other.
Well, you see some good one-on-ones. I just saw Brandon Boston and I think one of the best defenders in the state, man. Rico Holman going at it. I just saw the McEachin 2 or 5.
Akinbola and Okoro. And see, down on the first trip, Okoro scored.
Right.
This time, Akinbola was ready and that's teammates, you know, in a high school game. But we're not putting nobody on teams now, but you're looking at good basketball players going up against other basketball players.
But what's even more interesting about this drill right now, fellas, is you're starting to see, like, I love to see guys who can play in straight lines.
Yeah.
Versus guys who bow out to where that defense is getting up in them, like Rico Holman gets up in them, and he's the one that's dictating. Because technically, offense is the one who has the advantage. But if you're playing in a straight line, you got a chance 9 times out of 10 not only to score, if you don't score, to potentially get a foul. If you bow out, referees automatically say, well, you know what? You got off your line. And if you're not, there's no contact to get you off your line. You need to get lower. You need to get lower, get the ball tighter, and play and get that ball out in front of you, as opposed to keeping it on your hip. But you got to get low and tight, and then make sure that your moves are explosive and that they're taking you somewhere.
It's just like the quickest point between 2 points is a straight line.
Yeah.
Yep. Same difference there. And then that's something you work on. You know, if you're going left or you're going right, you know, you work on that to be able to make that move so it does come naturally.
But even more incredible in watching this drill breakdown was the number of guys that went to the middle to the right because they were right-handed, as opposed to keeping the ball on the left side and figuring out how to finish. So me evaluating talent from a college perspective, I'm like, his left hand needs work.
But then I saw a couple guys set them up and go right and come back left.
Exactly. But once again, if I'm evaluating, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm writing down, saying, because once again, you got to make multiple moves. You got to make multiple moves in one series, or that's going to be to the defensive man's advantage, unless you get head and shoulders by him on a straight line dribble.
Coach Hewley talking about he had to acclimate his mind to high school. Well, what I think is interesting is, I'm gonna safely say this is coming to top tier high school. Right. Would you not say?
Right.
Okay.
That was not a bad job by Sharif Cooper right there. Keeping his feet. Exactly. Yep. But the thing is, you ain't have to jump. You ain't blocking no shots.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just keep your body between him and the basket. Keep your hands straight up. Don't give the refs an opportunity to make a call.
Took contact there.
Once again, if he's taking that ball to the middle, he's got to know defense is going to be there. So he's got to be ready to handle that rock.
And that's why I was deflected.
Right.
Stayed in front of him. We just talked about Hallman defense.
But the thing
stayed right in front of him.
But the thing is about that right there, from an offensive standpoint, he took 3 dribbles and went 3 feet. I mean, I don't care about the dips he do. Like right there was a straight line drive. That's a straight line drive, but once again, wasn't able to keep control of that rock. If he would have kept control of that, he would have got past Smith. And that's a foul.
And then sometimes, not saying that that's what happened on that one, you try to make the extra move when you don't have to. When you have your man beat, go.
Here's Akinbola and Okoro again.
Look at that. Okoro is one of the most underrated defenders.
You love him.
I told him this yesterday. Coach, you know what he did yesterday?
What did he do?
He took all Georgia 5 and then made me go all Metro 5. Now we might have to patent that or trademark.
Yeah, we might have to do something.
Yeah.
Now I got a question right there. So just got by him. Why did he have to go back to the middle? If he's got him on that hip right there, just stay all the way and finish him with your strong hand. Oh.
But see the defensive efforts here from people that you know can score.
Right.
Like Brandon Boston couldn't score just now on Brendan Tucker.
Right. No, this is great right here.
Right
this
here.
Is great.
See, Roscoe didn't give up on it.
Just saw Jared Jones walk in the building. It's too much. This is
a lot of talent out here.
Man.
But this is what it's supposed to be, though.
And development of the talent.
Right. This is what we talked about in the hoop circle all year. And a lot of people didn't get a chance because we would do it off camera. But now to have it on camera and come to light, you know, this is a great thing for us.
Hallman again, good defense.
That's on a big guy.
Yeah, exactly. Giving up. I mean, he made the jump hook, but he worked for it.
Right. Right here in the huddle right now. Dez is once again leading them through another drill that they're going to do out here. Once again, great opportunity to see guys also, fellas, from a coaching perspective to learn on the fly.
Yeah.
To learn on the fly, because you know what? In the course of a game, I might draw up something that I hadn't drawn up all year long. Can you get it? Can you understand it? And then can you go execute it? This is a great one right here. He kept it for between 15 and 20 seconds, because now in coaching you got to talk in bullet points and not paragraphs.
Yes.
So bullet point, 15 seconds, go out and do it.
Okay. I like this one that's about to come.
We got to be careful. Joe might try to go out here and get in the drills.
I might.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you're watching this is some good stuff. If you're a coach, middle school coach, park rec ball coach, AAU coach who's not here, this is some good stuff that you can take with you to also incorporate high school coaches as well. Incorporate in some of your drills.
Absolutely.
You're coming off the pit, you drive to the free throw line, below the free throw line, so defense collapse, boom, you got your shooter over here. How was the energy, Barry, when it first began?
I think when I first walked in, I think to see so many good players, under one roof is just unbelievable. Well, Joe, it's a lot of high-energy guys in here.
It is, and just looking at the ball movement and how you're executing the drill, you continuous going back and forth,
right,
and getting you to spin that ball to the left.
Well, on the microphone now over here at the Core 4 facility is Brandon Johnson, who is the head of basketball operations here at Core 4. For a lot of you who don't know, Brandon's been involved with basketball, especially in the coaching ranks, for well over 20 years. More importantly, and coming here with Core 4, wants to help to make this one of, if not the elite basketball academy here in the Metro Atlanta area. Brandon, thank you for joining us. Give us your thoughts right here over the course of the first hour and 15 minutes with the meshing of these different AAU programs together.
Right now it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You got guys working pretty hard. First and foremost, for these guys to come together like this, I think it's a great idea. You and I both know, Lewis, no matter where you go, what you do, you got to work. And these guys are doing a good job working. Some of the drill sets that they've gone through thus far has been pretty good. These guys got to learn how to play. Yeah, that's the bottom line. Right. Everybody talks about AAU basketball to where they're not being taught anything. It's just up and down, and anybody can look good doing skills and drills. But hey, you got to be able to play the game. So this is a good format right now to break things down and to offer the proper training.
Well, did you tell everybody here who might not know you your experience in regards to basketball, not only here in Metro Atlanta, but throughout the country?
I got my start here 26 years ago. I started coaching Douglas High School. Jesse Bonner, 26 years ago, ended up at Banneker for 2 years. Coached at every level, junior college Division II, from Atlanta Metro to Clayton State on over to Jacksonville State, all the way from UTSA to Auburn to Tennessee State. So I've been in the business for 26 years, and the last 4 years spent in Houston working with Coach Lucas, doing training, and just really basketball, as you and I both know, it's gave us the opportunity to tour the world. Right. And there are 7 continents in the country, in the world. I think I've been to all of them with the exception of 2. I haven't yet to go to South America or the Antarctica. I don't think none of us are going there. But when you go around the world, basketball is, it's the growing sport. We go to China. Basketball is the fastest growing sport in the country of China. Right. We've done camps and clinics in Senegal, Mali, Nigeria. I work with Masai Ujiri, who does the Giants of Africa. But you see, and in France, doing camps and clinics over there, you see everybody it's just growing. Right. And more so than anything, it's the skill set. It's the skill set that has to be developed, nurtured, and then applied, and not just out here in a skills and drill setting, but really in the concept of game, which I could go on and on, but that's basketball in a nutshell.
Let me ask you this. With your vast background, where have you seen Atlanta basketball grow during your time as a college coach, even up to this point? Where has it grown? Where do you see it getting better? And where do you see where it needs to have more work done?
It's grown because of the talent. It's Atlanta itself is a mecca as far as people moving here and living here. 26 years ago, when I was a high school coach here, or let's say back in 2000 when I was at Jacksonville State, nobody recruited Atlanta. It was just a regional, the South was just a regional base as far as recruitment went. SEC, a little bit of the ACC because of Bobby Crimmins and Georgia Tech. But hell, Bobby did most of his recruiting up north. But as you look around now, you and I both know, being at all the places you've been, Kennesaw State as a head coach, Notre Dame, Florida. We competed against each other. Florida, Auburn. It's a hotbed. It's a hotbed of talent, just like Texas. Right. But it's really grown because of the amount of talent here. AAU programs are popping up all over. But like Des has been in the business for 18 years. Even with Peaches, Sandra Glass. But you've got guys like the Celtics, Stars. You've got solid basketball here. And the one thing that I've noticed, like being around the country, professional, enhancement and personal development to become better coaches. This right here in itself is another opportunity to grow. So to make a long story short, to beat around the bush or go around the block, you see more coaches truly trying to develop and nurture as opposed to just running up and down the court.
Where do you see, Joel, I promise I'm going to let you in here.
You're all right, man. You know me, I'm observing.
Where do you see this facility being able to help to continue to nurture and grow basketball with the Core 4 training facility here in regards to Metro Atlanta?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's a great concept that they came up with. Right. Initially, they just wanted to have this for an elite group of guys, the NBA guys, the professional guys. But in retrospect, when they go back and look, meaning the Millsap brothers and the family, when they go back and look at things, they're like, hey, how did we get our start? We didn't start when we became pros. We started when we were young. So having access to gyms such as this and elite training, proper training, it's like building academies. When we go over coach overseas, you got nothing but academies, right. In Europe. I think it'll be a tremendous asset within the city, within the parameters. The perimeter, we have to travel out as far. You got great things here. Don't get me wrong, and it's not so much you got to be in competition with other people. It's just about proximity. So we're close within the perimeter, within 285, where we're not out in Suwanee, we're not out in Lake Point, but to offer this training here, to be consistent at it, and to have the proper guys like Abe Millsap, Otis Hughley, heck, even try to get you in here to do some coaching and training with us.
He needs to.
Hey,
there you go.
We couldn't beat him. When I was at Auburn, oh my goodness.
Look, I wouldn't be standing here today without it.
Hey,
it's just the season, and I like where this facility is. It's 3.5 miles from my house, so I need a gate card.
So first of all, I'll talk about that off air. I'm not going.
Don't start.
I'm not going to start with you on air. Can we talk a little bit more about the Millsap's thought process? We know Paul was here for a number of years, did a lot of great things for the Atlanta Hawks and Atlanta Hawks organization in this Metro Atlanta community. Why put this together here? What is their thought process moving forward in regards to Core 4 training?
When you say put it here, like Atlanta opposed to Denver?
Or here versus putting it out in, he's in Utah now. He was at Denver before. What was it about Atlanta that was so attractive?
Well, I think Atlanta's going to be home for him. And just like you said, as you see, Tom Crean took the University of Georgia job because of talent here. Everybody knows this is a gold mine. You got all the talent in the world. Everybody comes in here and coaches and recruits, basically. I'm sorry. But their thought process is they want to give back. This is going to be home for him. Yeah, he just got traded out to Denver. He started off in Utah. But Atlanta's a great city, and it has so much to offer. So they want to truly get back to the community. When they were young boys, they didn't have this growing up. They had an uncle who trained them, D'Angelo Simmons, who's now representing Paul. But they're like, hey, they want to have this access to a gym 24/7. And their motto, this is going to be a state-of-the-art, just like the Hawks have done with their facility here.
With Emory Healthcare.
They're trying to partner with a sports medicine and sports science group to come in here. And if you see the layout here, initially it was going to be, you got an NBA court, you got a college court here, high school court here, that's 84 feet. Right here, we're going to have about a 25-yard turf for speed and agility training, and then in the back, open weights. So you got everything here. Matter of fact, I brought Coach Lucas here when the Hawks played the Rockets. Brought him in here. I'm like, hey, Coach, we're going to do some of the camps here, the grassroots camps, and want to bring in your segment to get it going. I'm like, critique it, let me know what you think about it, and be honest with me. He was like, hey, you got more here than I could offer. You got the weights, you got speed and agility. You're going to be able to do preventive and maintenance training, recovery, this, that, and the other. He says, the only thing I see is you didn't make it big enough. So it's not real big, but it's not real small.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just right now. Will it be open to? It's a private setting. It's going to be open to the public, not the general public. But if we get enough with the training and the amount of numbers that we'll get up in here, it'll be just right. But now, that was the initial onset of what they wanted to do. But again, they're now talking about partnering with the sports science, sports medicine group. I think one of the sports science groups is Fusionetics. So they'll come in and they'll have that whole backside. So sports is a science. You know, I mean, really it's about taking care of the body, making sure the body is doing right, and just all the things that, there's a lot going into it. It's from the science aspect that we don't know, and even the medicine. So it's, they want to give everybody that access as far as the young kids growing up and even the pros that are coming in for the summer. You know, we got some nice things in the back there, you know, that won't be privy to or access to the general public or the youth. But for the professional athletes coming back here, you have, you know, we've got a nice player lounge, nice concession area where we're bringing some nutrition. In the back, we got a hot and cold jacuzzi, sauna, steam room for the guys. And this is, we're looking to, you know, start up some good games during the summer, let these guys come in and have their workout, get everything they need at the one stop, and then, hey, they can do their thing, whatever they want to do in the evening in Atlanta. Just don't get into trouble.
And it's in a nice location here. Right. Like I said, I'm familiar with the area, and it's nice and hidden. But that's I'm glad you brought that out about the courts, because when I walked in, that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, okay, that's the NBA court, that's the college. So, I mean, those small things add up, and now you talk about the weights in the back, and, you know, it might not be the biggest, but the quality of it, I can already feel it right now, even in its development. You guys have done an awesome job.
Yeah, well, I didn't do none of this. I just came in, I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna help with the basketball operations, but this really goes to the brothers, you know, the family. Very, very strong, beautiful family. And I was very fortunate and blessed to have coached and recruited 2 of them. But they're humble young men. You know, they're not kids. You'll see out here, but they're competitive. They got character. You know, they're compete. You even helped us with the 4 C's. Yeah. You know, I'm missing a C. Give me that other C. It was, oh my God. It was character, competitiveness. Oh, community. Community. So yeah. So I mean, literally, Lewis and I, when I got here, had him come out. I'm like, look, man, check out this place, man. Had Otis come out. We you know, we're all. This is a fraternity. Des, we all know each other. So I'm like, hey, listen, man. This is what these guys want to do, and it's a great concept. And like I said, they want a character, you know, really come in here and develop, mold character while they're working out young guys, this, that, and the other. Competition, you got to be competitive in the game.
Yes.
You know, and then what else? I said giving back to the community. You know, so here you go. We'll be able to open up our doors. We're going to partner with some organizations like Special Olympics and things of that nature. We got Chamblee High School right over here that we'll be able to do some things with. They're just now adding a health science program to their curriculum, which we will allow the students to come over here and do some internships, things of that nature. So it's a win-win situation for everybody involved.
You talked about the quality here. Talk to us about the quality of talent on this court right now. What have you seen? What are you going to continue to see out here throughout the course of the day and moving forward here in the Metro Atlanta area?
There's talent out here for sure. It's a lot of talent, and you know, it's this is what you want. Talent is it creates competition, you know, and I can tell you right now, these guys are working their ass off. Excuse my French, but they're working. You see, they're young too. The biggest thing that you and I know, just some coaching guys, at the next level, speed and strength are going to be a true difference. And you can see some of the guys still, these are high school kids and they're playing like high school kids. Right. Some of them are still trying to figure it out. But there are a few out here that you see, okay, hey, just by little things. There used to be drills that we could do, in particular some footwork and breaking open things that I would do, ball handling skills, that I could tell and pick up things right off the bat. Hey, this guy's got it, go over here. This guy's got it, go over here. I mean, it's separation. And when I'm looking, as you all are too, you look at about 5 things, and I see a lot of talent out here, but I'm like, hey, look, what's the one thing this kid can do best out here? I'm looking at that as a former college coach, scout recruiter. I'm like, okay, what's the one thing this kid can do best? Whether it's ball handling, whether it's shooting, if he makes the right passes, he's defending, moving his feet. It's just his decision making. Right. 2, I'm looking at, okay, athleticism. You're going to have that at the next level. At some step, us coaching in the SEC, and this is ACC, SEC country, you got to have that athleticism. 3, and this is in no particular order, but you try to figure out, okay, hey, the skill set of these guys. The skill set to me is broken down into 2 components. One is basketball IQ. Basketball IQ. And this is something that a lot of guys have to learn and not everybody gets. And then fundamentals. How fundamentally sound are these guys? Are they able to dribble, pass, shoot, catch, footwork? And then the last thing, you try to measure, heart, the intangible, and, their work ethic, this, that, and the other, as well as, one last thing. All these guys, I see 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and you and I both know, hey, tallest guy out here might be 6'6", but at the next level, he's on his high school team, he's the tallest guy, and he's playing the 4-5, but at the next level, he's a 1 or 2. So you got to really be able to gauge that. But from all this talent right now that I see these guys putting forth some great effort, and I see a few guys that just sort of, stand out above the crowd.
Good. Well, Brandon, we appreciate you coming on, having us, and thank you for allowing us to come into this beautiful facility today. And I think more importantly, opening the doors to the most unique experience I think I've ever seen in regards to grassroots basketball, bringing in multiple AAU programs to work out together. So continued success, and once again, thank you.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Brandon.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
We all piggyback off of each other. Nobody, we all steal things. This is nothing but Coach Lucas's concept. 4 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, 2011, I worked with Coach Lucas down in Houston. We've got, as like sophomores in the gym, we've got Justin Jackson, Kelly Oubre, Isaiah Taylor, Justice Winslow. All these guys are in the gym, just like this, and they're working. They're working. Two days a week in the summertime. 2 times a day. So I'm not a guru or anything. Hey, I'm a copycat. That's all we do. I'm just trying to make it and perfect it and bring it here to Atlanta.
But they're getting better, and the talent is here. And you said something earlier, SEC, ACC country. But I'm going to say this. If you're not coming to Georgia to recruit, you're not trying to get better. I'm going to just say that.
Or you're not trying to win.
One of the two.
So. Hey, it used to be, and Lewis can tell you this, coaching in Texas, it used to be, and it still is, you could take the top 25 teams in the country, and you look at their roster, you're going to find a lot of kids from Texas. That was the case because kids went away. But Georgia, same thing.
Yeah.
You look at the top 25 kids in the country, top kids in the NBA in the NBA green room or so, they come from Georgia. They're coming from Georgia.
The numbers just keep accelerating. We can talk about the tournament. You can't turn on the tournament
without seeing the Georgia kids. Or Georgia kids, multiple.
Or a connection.
But like I said, we're opening up to the public and partner with some guys like Dez and try to do some things. Like I said, know all the AAU guys and the high school coaches here. So we're all gonna work together to make this thing happen.
Good.
Hey, fellas, thanks again, man. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right, now appreciate it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Coach. So taking a look at this drill here, Coach.
Right.
I like how it started off. You started off with your dribbling, your passing, the continuation. Now you're going to finish. You got two people in contact. What are you seeing in this drill, though?
What I'm seeing right now are guys, once you get into that paint area right there, you got to use both hands. Are you just a right-handed guy, or you're ambidextrous? If you're ambidextrous, you got a chance to be successful in that paint. You got to work on a variety of different moves, whether it's floaters, whether it is the Euro step,
in and out,
whether it is the spin move like Ashton Hankins just did. There's a variety of different moves because you know what? The defense is going to dictate your next move. So, if you're not multi-dimensional, then that's going to take and hurt you overall.
I always remember what Charles Barkley said when I was growing up. Good players do two things well. Great players do three things well. Right. 3 solid moves. Right. You got to, because as you talked about how quickly coaching and bullet points, that adjustment may be made. You're going to have to be able to just, there's a counteraction to everything.
Absolutely.
Fellas, we know he's wrapped up the North Georgia All-Star Classic, a great event yesterday, but we had to get him on the air. The Georgia Hoop Circle is complete with Coach Mario Mays joining us at this great event, fellas.
Man, glad to be here. like a lot of talent in the building. You got sticker shock when you look at their roster, didn't you? Hey man, if I was a college coach, I'd be turning the back flip, man. It's a lot of good things going on, though, man. A lot of great guys done some great training in this city out here, man. So this is a great event, man.
Hey, let us know, how did the North Georgia Classic, how did that finish up yesterday overall, and you know, what did that do for that area, up in that Gainesville area for basketball?
We had a great time. We had a great event. Of course, we got a lot of support from the local community. Great support from everybody here at SUV, and just to me, the community has responded to the event. You know, you can tell by the attendance every year. It's picked up attendance-wise, and I think the biggest thing that we've been able to do is kind of minister to the kids along with the game of basketball, but also talk about, you know, preparing themselves for the next level. We had a young man who played in the game, I guess about 2 or 3 years ago, Ty Coxfield. Now he's a point guard over at Arkansas State. He had a great year this year, averaged about 18 points. But the victory for us is like bringing those kids back who played in the game, and now they're on the next level, and so they can come back and kind of talk to the kids about what to expect on the next level. So, you know, I think that's helping our situation continue to grow, you know.
And you know what's great, Ty Coxfield was actually recruited by one of my old assistants, Mike Scatero, who's out of Arkansas State. What do you see so far? You know, you just walked in, it's like, to me, this is like Sunday dinner, you know. Oh, there's so much to choose from.
I'm trying to get Barry over here so we can really hoop circle it quick.
But it is incredible right now. What do you see out here with all this talent so far?
I think the biggest thing that I see is just the unification of all these different grassroots programs being able to come under, you know, one umbrella to make this event happen. And that kind of lets you know, like, everybody's putting, and never, I don't think it's ever been about egos to these guys, but no, everybody's saying, let's get under one roof and let's combine our talents and our skills, and let's try to help these kids continue to grow. And I mean, talent-wise, you ask me what I see, what you want. Because I mean, you got bigs, you got guards, you got everything.
Defenders, wings, shooters. I think one of the things for me, it goes back, and I've said this for a long time, there is a rap that certain guys get when making that jump to the collegiate level, and they try to put you in a box as only as a recruiter, right? But what you're seeing out here right now are guys that are coaching, guys that are taking, you know, the fundamentals and helping them get better to help prepare them for that next level. And I think that's very important, that we give the right recognition and the just recognition for guys who are out here that are working. Because there's a variety of different people out here that has a variety of different talents. So just wanted to make sure that we that we gave that recognition.
Well, as you speak on giving recognition, man, I think, you know, definitely a guy who I know has had a lot to do with putting this together, Desmond Eastman, man. I mean, you know, he's done a great deal for the game of basketball in this state. And, you know, I heard you talk a lot about how the coaching in this state helps go along with making these players so great. So it's a combination of things, man. You know, you got great guys, Mark Edwards, all these guys out here that are the great trainers that are helping grow the game. This is all about promoting this game, man. And that's why we can turn around and say you got 2 or 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming out of this state every year, you know. Well, it's official now. The Georgia Hoop Circle is together right now. Barry Brownell, Mario Mays, Lewis Preston. I'm Joel Hilsman. We sit in our CBA Sports studio and we talk about it all the time, but since we got a few minutes together live, let's go out here. Coach, I asked you about this drill. Mario, I'm gonna ask you about this drill. Barry, I'm gonna ask you about this drill. You got 2 ends of the floor. Who just did a good drill route right now, a good rep, either end of the floor? And what you saw, what stood out?
I just saw Brandon Boston. I like his sweep and go move. Like I said, with a guy that's 6'6", long like that, athletic, he's got to be able to sweep low and attack the basket on the pull-up.
You want to know what I look at? As these guys are for that, and you call it the sweep and go, I call it the rip through. On that rip, that first dribble, and then that first step into that shot, right? We talk about how it has to be hard, but it has to be soft as well. And, you know, because it's to step in to get that lift up on that shot.
And the other thing, when you start talking about drills and ripping and going, and anytime you're working on a shooting drill, one thing I like to pay attention to is when guys finish coming out of that move, are they square to the basket, and the lift and the explosion, right, to finish the shot. So, you know, you see right here, Matai Thompson, the guard, was already kind of got a low center of gravity, turns the corner, gets squares, finishes and follow through on the shot.
Mario, you talk about Messiah Thompson. You're very, very high on Messiah Thompson. For him, an opportunity, he doesn't get a chance to play this type of competition during the school year at North Atlanta, but he made a run.
Right.
So what does that do for a guy like this playing against the Sharif Cooper, the Zaire Easton, the Ashton Hagans, the Charles Smiths of the world? What does that do for a guy like him in your estimation?
And mostly everybody out here is returned.
I think for him, it just gives him the opportunity to continue to let people know, hey, I'm a high caliber player too. You know, like you said, coming out of that region and that kind of field of play, he's done a great job. But then he can come out here and hold his own and kind of show everybody else that, you know, I belong on this level. And that's really what this is about, man. Like, it's no this pocket over here, that pocket over there. If you're really a kid in the state of Georgia, in this metro area that people are talking about, you're probably in this building right now.
And I've said it, we've all said it, to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Iron sharpens iron. If you're going to get better, a Rico Holman, if you're going to get better, you got to go out, come out here and compete against a Sharif Cooper and Ashton Hagan. And same with the big men.
And the breakdown on this drill, we've seen it come from the skeletons, and now you're getting to the meat and potatoes. It started with the passing, then you driving right, now you're driving left, now you one dribble pull up, now you're putting in your rocker step, one dribble and pull up. If that's your weakness, here's your time right now to drop that thing from 15, 16 feet on the elbow. Right. We talk about the mid-range game. Here's subs, one step.
But you know what? I look at the mid-range game like the short game in golf. It's the money. That's where you make your money at. And I think the most interesting thing out here is, hey, at some point, if we're going to be as good as we think we're going to be next year, we're going to be competing against some of these guys.
Exactly.
And for me, not only am I working on my game, I'm also taking a cheat sheet afterwards.
Pretty much.
And I'm writing down what some of these other guys do well, and then what they're weak at, and then make sure that I take and try to get them towards their weaknesses when we're on the court against each other, but make sure that I find their strengths when we're on the court together and probably playing AAU.
No doubt about it.
And then as we get ready to hit the live period in AAU, none of us are going to be surprised when these teams start making deep AAU runs. And then that's just the facts of it, because you're working against the best, the highest level. Brendan Tucker was low right there. And Bethea came right back and hit this one. I mean, I can't watch both ends of the court at the same time, but I'm trying.
I know.
I got split eyes.
Yeah, but you got system overload right now. You don't know what to do, especially with all these McKeachin boys in the house.
See, good.
With all these McKeachin boys in the house. You know they got his varsity sweater out in the trunk.
But it's just all elite talent together, though. Right. And that's just happened to where it be.
It's so much, y'all.
Jared Jones, you mentioned, he walked in the building.
Look, we were talking about yesterday how we would take a Metro team and, you know, I would win, of course.
Off,
you know,
what do we call it, like 285?
Yeah, off 285.
Off 285.
Hey, y'all, I'm going to venture out to say, give me 10 guys out of here. We can go beat a couple Division I.
I won't say that you're wrong with that, man. You know, and that's the, I think that's the caveat to everybody in this metro area bringing one thing under one roof, man. Like, people don't understand, man. It's not just talent on the floor, but it's talent with these guys that's teaching the game, man. Like, these guys really put time into what they do.
And Coach alluded to that earlier, Mario, about how Desmond, who's about to set up a drill now, boom, 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 here's the drill, let's go do it. There's no repeating, but none of this.
And I'm gonna tell you this, man. You know, I had the pleasure to work with Des for the last 10 years, and I'm gonna be honest, man. It's not a lot of people as sharp when you start talking about the game of basketball. Like this guy just don't. He ain't on the internet surfing like, you know, he put his time in, and you've seen, you know, the products that he's helped develop into pros and even elite college players. So, hey, he's good at what he does, man.
Exactly. And that's the reason why. So, I mean, no matter what people might say, in the AAU circles, well respected, because you know what? You've seen the development of these young players. And they've gone to the college level, they've gone to the pro level, and they haven't been like these fly-by-night. They've been multiple years in the league, you know, from a J.J. Hickson to I mean, you're seeing what Jaylen Brown's doing right now. I mean, you would know a whole host of others as well.
I mean, and I think, you know, that's the beauty of it, to be able to see what JB started as a freshman. I mean, even as an 8th grader, you see him come from that point all the way up into a guy who now is, what, 2-3 years in the league, and, you know, pushing the button to possibly be an all-star before it's all over with, man.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Mark my words. I'm not a gambling man, but I go to Vegas on it. Jaylen Brown's gonna be the president of the NBA Players Association one day. I promise you that.
All right, on the floor, I like the drill Desmond was talking about. Okay, you got to know the difference in pick and roll and a ball screen, and now they're going to do this flare into the corner. You're going to catch it and go. Now, that adds so much element because we see travels called a lot. Right. Most of the time, a travel is indecision, right? All right, here's your decisive move. Catch it, face. Coach Hughley was just talking about facing and going.
Right.
I'm ready to see the execution of this drill now.
And he talked about, Coach Hughley talked to us earlier about it. He said that was the difference with the European game. All 3 levels know how to face and go, to where we're just now starting to incorporate that, as well as the fact that we brought more shooters in regards to the Olympic team.
And see, here's the drill. You're coming off, and you're catching it and go. Open and go.
Yeah.
And you can pull up, hit the short corner, or you can drive if the defense is not there. Or if you want to dunk on somebody like Barry Brown used to do back in the day.
And right here, as you see Jared Jones come across right there, a lot of people call it a lot of different things. I always in college called this the Iverson cut. Because if you ever watched, Allen Iverson always came across that free throw line extended to catch it, and he was able to rip it off either right or left and get by somebody off of that initial dribble.
And I think y'all kind of alluded to it earlier, but every drill is a build-up until the next situation. And, you know, we used to do the same thing practice-wise, and it went into different sets. Like, you know, like you said, we run this drill, then we come right into a play that we had with an Iverson cut. So all of this stuff is well scripted and well put together by these trainers, man.
What I'm liking, fellas, is you seeing so many guys with so much basketball knowledge. You talk about Dez. You and I, off air, talked about Dez's knowledge. Talk about a guy that I've known for a while, Mark Edwards.
Yes.
Talk about Coach Rob. So many guys out here. You talk about Hughley, who's with us earlier. It's just so much, man. So much knowledge. Like, you feel knowledge while you even in here right now.
Right.
That's why when you go through these drills, you have to understand, no, there's not 20,000 in the stands right now, but this set of eyes that are in here, evaluating you, putting you through the drills because they know what it's going to take for you to be able to get to the next level and develop your game and be a better basketball player.
Well, let's be realistic about this, fellas. All these guys are going to get calls from college coaches at some point in regards to ask about this young man. Where is his talent level at? What have you seen? What does he need to work on? Is it somebody that I need to take and put my energy and resources in to recruit? Or do I need to wait and see? Or is there enough red flags not to recruit them at all? This is kind of showing you the on the court stuff. Now, you got to make sure you continue to do your homework as well. But I mean, that's just to me says a lot about not only the talent here, but more importantly, the coaching. Last thing I'll ask you guys here is, Where do you see this going, being a part of this here today? Where do you see this going here in the near and distant future overall?
I feel like this, man. The sky's the limit, because when you put this many basketball minds together under one roof, whatever you choose to do with this game, it's going to be positive and it's going to continue to grow. And I think that's the key. When you have people that are interested in growing the game and in a positive manner for these kids, and that's what everybody got to realize. It ain't about nothing but these kids, man. And once you buy into it being about these kids, and not so much of how much money. I mean, ain't nobody getting no money for this, man.
Right.
And that's the beauty of what's going on.
Right.
I think just looking at these guys and knowing a couple of these guys here and there, one thing I do realize about them is I think every time we see a kid, whether you coach that kid, coach against that kid, we have a sense of pride in the state of Georgia. You know, we all like to look on TV and, hey, that's a Georgia kid. I think, you know, you look at a Jaylen Brown, you know, you look at these guys that are playing in the NCAA tournament and you say, if they win, we win as a state. You know, and like I said, that's the thing. That's why this has been so important, though, y'all.
Definitely. Well, fellas, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I gotta head down to the south side here. But once again, it's always great being on the Hoop Circle. You know, once again, dropping knowledge. Once again, to educate the community on all things great about Georgia basketball. So, with that being said, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Coach Preston. Field.
So many moving parts to the drill, though, Barry. I'm absolutely loving it. You're touching it on a pass, you're going to another spot, going to the wing, you're shooting the J. You're doing so many different things.
I'm gonna tell you another thing that, you know, we might not have said a lot about. When we talk about the knowledge that's in the building, the other thing that's got to happen is you got to be coachable.
Yes.
As a player, and this is a great opportunity to see if kids are paying attention to detail and if they follow direction. I remember, you know, one time we was in a ball game. This is, and you know, people take this for granted. Being able to draw a set in a huddle, and a kid going from that huddle right
being able to having to translate
that's
that.
That's it. That's when you start to figure out how coachable kids are. That's when you start to figure out if you're going to be able to make it on the and be effective on that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't go from A to B, then you're in trouble, man. That's a tough thing. We got Sean Williams in the building, too.
Who's not in the building right now? I mean, everybody, we in the gym, you know? We in the gym. But I like what you said, because Coach Lou and I was talking about this, Mario. I've been watching the body language. Dez has been coming in, or the trainers have been coming in. All right, here's what we're going to do. And you're not seeing a bunch of, I don't want to do this, man. Or I'm not, okay, if you mess up the drill, you keep going. You know, go back, you know, get it right.
Well, you're not seeing that because guys are realizing that these guys have been known to get guys to the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you guys talk about JB. I remember when Dez took Jamario Davis. When he took Jamario Davidson and Mark Edwards come over here all sweating and stuff, man.
Jump on, man. Hey, listen,
it's okay.
This is
basketball.
This is a very special moment when you got this guy here who is sweating from head to toe. So you know it's some heavy work going on in this building. And one thing I'm gonna say, man, this guy right here has put a lot of time into developing basketball in the metro area. He's developed some great ball players, and he got his hands on a young man right now that we all know, Mr. Charles Smith.
I'm going to take it back further. I don't want to hear that.
Nah.
Please. Look, man, this guy, I was about to say now.
Okay.
I go way back with Mark. Mark don't remember.
Okay.
But Mark started hot sauce, man. And like I said, you look at some of the things that Mark has done, man. He put some kids out here, man. So Mark, Give it to us, Mark.
I don't know. I mean, basketball is my life, man. You know, I'm blessed to be able to have worked in pretty much every genre of the game. You know, NBA guys, college, high school, street ball. You know, it's funny now, you know, street ball or the basketball games with music attached to them is now the norm.
Right.
You know, where before you got a DJ at the game, or you got in these, you know, non-black schools and they're playing I'm in love with the Coco.
Yeah.
And you got white and black kids and Asian kids singing the lyrics or whatever. I mean, basketball is life. It transcends, you know, colors, races, ages, everything. And I'm blessed to work in this, you know, in this beautiful field.
My question to you is this. How do you feel about bringing all of these different grassroots organizations together under one roof to do what we're doing right now?
I think it needs to be a trend. I think that, I'll speak. I'm very transparent when I speak. You know, I'm really disappointed, you know, with the whole FBI stuff that's going on, because what it's done is it's scared a lot of our top guys. Like, guys don't even want to talk on the phone no more, because, you know, oh man, I don't know what this guy's intentions are. Well, I've been 100 since day one, you know what I'm saying? And being able to get guys from different organizations under the same roof and have all our kids train together and learn together, you know, that just shows why the state of Georgia is actually, we're double the normal average of scholarships. The average scholarships per state is 2% per class. We're at 4%. And I think that's the culmination of a lot of great training and development that we're doing. You know, we got Dez, you know, we got, you know, my man Rob, you know, we got, you know, my man Mr. Staples, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we're putting together some real good work in here. And this should go on. We have to do another one.
Well, Mark, that's what I want to talk to you. We're in a water break right now. So through the first portion of the section, what have you seen so far from the talent that's on the floor and the drills that you guys have put in front of them to make them better basketball players?
I think one of the big things is, you know, when we talked about, you know, development, I think one of the biggest problems is when these kids are in middle school, they're not getting developed. And you know, and parents, it's not their fault, because I think society has like a herd mentality where if that person's doing it, they're playing AAU ball right now, that means I need to go play. I mean, you got 4th grade teams traveling all over the country.
Right.
In the 4th grade. Like, you're not even the best player in your neighborhood. You're not even the best player in your city, your state, nothing. And you're going to Arkansas, Florida, you're going all over the place. For what? It's a money grab. The money should be spent wisely. Our kids need to learn this stuff here. And what's happening is, a lot of times these kids aren't getting exposed to this kind of training. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dez is a freak of nature when it comes to drills and skills and sets. Me, I've been doing this stuff for 24 years professionally. It's funny, I got a couple guys in California I worked out in 1989 that found me on Twitter and called me at the same time, and they was like, yo, you taught us that crossover way back in '89 in Cali when I was in college. You know what I'm saying? I used to work with little kids. So, I mean, it's about giving back, it's about the right people giving back, and it's about parents finding those resources that can help their kids develop. Can you imagine if every single kid in here got a Division I scholarship? But I think we'll get 75% of these kids scholarships because they got some real good talent here.
Right.
And we're in the Southeast. Georgia is, you know, arguably the best basketball state right now, even though the state is not still a basketball state. It's still a football state. But I think we credit that to the guys doing the development, the AAU programs. You know, you look at it, man. Look at these kids. They all hanging out. There's nobody beefing. There's no coaches arguing.
And that's what I was gonna say. You know, the thing that's most impressive is I'm sitting there watching you, and you're a great trainer in your own right. But I see you go over to Dez and actually like asking Dez a question, and Dez turns around and asks you a question, and you guys are talking, gaining knowledge from each other. And like I said, you see young guys like Coach Rob out here. Staples, you see these guys kind of getting it from you guys. So like I said, that's awesome in itself to me.
I'm very critical of trainers on the internet, and I don't mind if I see somebody doing something wrong. When I see them in person, I'll be like, yo, that's not good. That's not good because of this, and this. And then if I got to, I'll send them a video and say, don't do this, 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 this because of this. You know what I'm saying? Like the game of basketball is very simple. Sometimes it comes down to just shooting. Sometimes it comes down to execution. Sometimes it comes down to defense. Sometimes it comes down to passing. Okay, so within your training, how are you implementing those drills, those skills? Do you have a drill for that? Do you have a skill where you can help them work on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so important. So us getting in here like this is beautiful. Like, we have to do more of these, I think, around the country. They need to do more of these. Like, at the end of the day, if AAU programs and coaches are really about the kids, then why not get together and have these kids train together? Iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So why not have them work out together? You know, nowadays it's about, and I started some years ago, and it started with, you know, Lonzo Ball and his crew. I call it duck season. I had my All-American duck season team where I felt like, yo, Lonzo's nice, but he's ducking all these camps. He ain't playing against nobody. You know what I'm saying? I said, for me, I was a fan of Lonzo, so I want to see him play because that's how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? We guys came up on the Adidas camps, Reebok camps, and what the stories about Lance Stevenson challenging O.J. Mayo, LeBron James going at the dude who we done forgot his name already because LeBron killed him.
Lenny Cook.
Lenny Cook.
Yeah.
I mean, he made Lenny Cook an afterthought. Lenny Cook was the man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't go on anymore. The kids don't challenge each other. So in situations like this, these kids working out together, they have no choice but to look at another dude who's supposed to be ranked higher than you and look at him and be like, all right,
I want your spot.
I want your spot. I'm gonna play against you. He hit a shot, I'm hitting a shot. Every shot he hit, I'm hitting. He did a dunk, I'm doing that dunk too. It's about competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm competitive. If I see a trainer that I think is just as good or better than me, I'm watching his stuff. I'm critiquing his stuff. I'm fixing my stuff. I'm competitive. If we're not being competitive, then what are we being?
So during the first portion of the camp, have you seen that competitive fire through,
in a few kids.
most of the drills?
In a few kids. They got some, like me, I got a bad attitude. I'll cuss a kid out. In front of his parents, I don't care. Because it's a big picture here. The big picture is we're trying to get these guys scholarships. These scholarships are worth upwards of $400,000. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to laugh and giggle in here and not take it serious, then you're not taking your education serious because this is going to pay for your education. That's what we're doing here. Because guess what? What I need to see more of, I need to see more of these kids when they go to summer school, graduating in 3 years. So if you're going to summer school for four years, you should graduate in 3. But you got kids going and taking bubblegum classes. They're not taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing this for? Everybody's not a pro. How many pros we got in this gym?
But
I speculate.
I like the competitiveness over here. This is water break.
Yeah.
And they over here.
But if we never
trying to dunk each other.
If we never did this, this would never occur.
Right.
And see me, if I was nobody talking to y'all, I'd be calling dudes out like, yo, you gonna let them do that dunk? You ain't gonna do that?
I think that's the New York City in you, man.
But that's just basketball.
That's a basketball. That's a basketball state.
Basketball.
That's a basketball state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. The basketball states are Chicago, New York, LA,
Georgia now.
Georgia now. Just that the state of Georgia don't recognize it like that.
Understood.
Which they should. We should have a shot clock. We should have all those things.
About that all the time.
Indiana's a basketball state. They got their average high school gymnasium is 2,500 seats.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Barnett is
backyard of our guy, Mr. Barnett.
The talent is here. You know, it's like Martin said. And I'm sorry, I'm from Georgia. I'm a basketball guy. Football, all right, you know, Sunday, Saturday, okay. I'm a basketball guy, so going to New York, going to Chicago and playing this street ball and then coming home and playing, you know, I'm a basketball guy, so I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's about competitiveness, man. Like I used to, when I was young, I would go from park to park.
Just
if
for a
I
game.
heard that dude was nice,
I'm coming for you.
Yo, either you're gonna kill me or I'm killing you. You're not scoring 30 and I'm scoring 30.
That's the part of the game that we gotta get the kids back into.
But we gotta step to the kids and be more forceful and pass on what we're supposed to pass on. Right. If we're not passing on correctly, then we're at fault.
Mark,
right.
That's why I miss run and shoot so much. I can't tell you the numerous amount of battles. Oh, man, I can't tell you some of the battles that we had at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning at run and shoot. Guys it was crazy.
Yeah, we do need something like that. I wish this could be the place for it. look, I love to stay here and talk all day, but I got to do a shooting drill.
Yes, sir.
These guys.
We appreciate you, baby.
Thanks,
you,
man. Thanks for having me, man.
The game.
I love what y'all doing, man. Love what y'all doing.
Just the freestyle at the moment. I mean, you had a dunk contest breakout over here, like the true dunk contest.
This is.
Grassroots United right here on the SUV TV. Joe Hillsman, Barry Browner, Mario Mays, and of course John Millsap. Now, going to join us right now. Yeah. Okay.
Mario Mays, nice to meet you.
There. As we get everything, it's on the fly now, so you got to know how it is. Joe Hillsman, Coach John Millsap, thank you for taking a few moments with us here on SUV TV.
Oh, for sure.
What have you seen so far and enjoyed about the Grassroots United event right now, you know, up until this first water break session?
Oh, man, these guys are out here they're working hard, extremely hard. The coaching staff is doing a great job, you know, establishing that. These guys, they hungry, so, you know, it's a good venue for them to come out and support that.
We'll talk about the venue, guys. I know you still have some more to do, but right now I'm loving it. I walk in, I see an NBA floor, I see a college floor, and I see some more work to be done. I mean, just tell us a little bit more about the venue, and is this what it was built to do?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The family had an idea to come in, and we wanted to give back to the community. And you know, basketball stuck with us all our life, so we wanted to do that in that form or fashion, and you know, just give back to the community. So what the venue is, we have three courts, 2 colleges and an NBA court, and the goal is to get youth, professional athletes or whatever to come in, and you know, we want to give them the foundation of, you know, work ethic, character, everything that a young athlete or anybody needs to go through life to pursue their goals in life. So that's exactly what we want to do.
John, this is funny that you said that. I actually listened to Road Trip, so I got a chance to listen to Paul on Road Trip talk about Core 4 facility. One of the things is that, you know, he said he wanted a place, AAU teams to come and train. He wanted to come back and train. He said he had a gym in his house in Utah and said, man, I got to get it out of my house. So when he came to Atlanta, this is what he, you know, Core 4. So I heard him talking about it last night. I listened to it last night. And like I said, this guy, you know, this is a dope place, man. Like I said, you guys
you said that because, you know, our first initial thought was to just have something for us to come in and, you know, get our shots up and just to do whatever. Then, you know, it dawned on us like, you know, we got to do something for the community to give back and, you know, show our expertise and what, you know, how we've grown in the former basketball and, you know, show that to the youth.
Well, we definitely want to say, man, we salute you all for what you're doing for this community, man, because there's so much needed around here. People don't understand that this game is played, but what it does from the standpoint of keeping guys focused and away from the other pitfalls that are out there that are snatching a lot of our young men and young women also. But man, you know, we just want to say definitely salute to you all for what you guys are doing.
Man, this is something we definitely wanted to do to, you know, get the youth to focus on their goals, focus on what they want to do. They can achieve everything on the court, and it could be outside the court. You know, if they want to be doctors or lawyers or whatever, you know, this foundation can lead that, you know, and drive that. So,
we appreciate it. Thank
John
you.
Smith.
All right, thank you.
John Millsap, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Core 4 facility, Grassroots United. You know, Coach Preston gone. I like it. He can clown on me all day. I'm watching just the drills and the agility and the players. I'm seeing them in this session as they're being able to work out. Some teammates, some not. AAU teammates, non-high school teammates.
Hold on. Hey, I caught y'all off guard when I told y'all about road tripping. I was listening to Paul Millsap last night, man, just talking about this place.
Hey, man.
It's excellent,
this guy right here,
who, Barry Brown,
he got a spin, boy, on I don't know if it ain't nothing he can't find.
Hey, man. somebody put me on road trip, man. Shout out to K-Dub for putting me on road trip. And just, you know, like I said, listening to that, I think we about to have another guest coming here, right?
Man, we getting ready to.
I don't know what to call him though.
Well, what we gonna call him today is we gonna call him the General.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure. Should I call him the General?
We gotta salute the General in the field.
Hey, I'm not gonna call him the General. I got a new nickname for him. Hold on. You gotta put the headset on before I call you by your nickname.
Let's do it.
I'm the king of the nicknames.
Let's do it, Professor. Yeah, he done gave out a couple nicknames now.
I want to hear it.
But Desmond Eastman here with Grassroots.
Hey man, we gonna call this guy Boss Hog, man. We gonna call him Boss Hog, man. There we go. Don't nothing get it jumping like Boss Hog.
Since you in the South, you Boss Hog. All you need is a white caddy now.
Hey, look, the caddy gotta have the horns on him.
Exactly. Because sometimes you got to grab the bull by the horns, which is what you've done here at Core 4 and Grassroots United. We're coming back after a water break, but just talk about what you've seen so far on the floor and then the element of getting everybody on the floor together.
I mean, the element of getting everybody here was pretty much easy because it's based on relationships. You know what I mean? We've done good work throughout, throughout the years here, and everybody know that if you come in the gym, and I'm in the gym, basketball's in the gym, Coach Mark is in the gym, Nick is in the gym, you come here to learn and you come here to get better. And that's why we have, in a sense, the jerseys with no branding, no numbers. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we want them to get better. Now you see they're split with their teams. And each team, you got 4 teams here. Each team is going to work with each trainer for 20 minutes. Okay. And after the 20 minutes, they're going to rotate. So every team is going to touch every trainer. Every trainer is going to touch every kid. And then when we come back, we're going to come back with a controlled environment. After lunch, they're going to get back with their coaches for 15 minutes. They're going to go over all man-to-man sets, whatever they run. And what we're trying to do is we're going to bring them back together as a group, and now we're going to go competitive. Up and down, transition, everything is controlled. Transition, half-court sets. Now you're learning to execute with players that you don't practice with every day, players that don't know what's coming. Actually, it's going to be, similar to your EYBL circuit, your Under Armour circuit, your Adidas circuit, because now you're going against those caliber kids. And what we're trying to do is, basketball in the state of Georgia has always been big. It's always been a hotbed. Development has always been there, and that's a testament not only to the trainers, but to the coaches, the parents, the kids. Everybody buys in at the end of the day. And what we're trying to do is let everybody know, let the world know, this is how it's supposed to be. Set aside your differences. If you do have differences, for the betterment of the kids. Right. And as you see, all the kids enjoying themselves. They're competing against each other. And like I said, they're going to get better.
You were leading some drills earlier, and I was impressed with, okay, boom, boom, this is what I need you to do. Everybody break off and do it. Are you able to look at some of these individuals, you know all of the kids, but look at them and they might be deer in headlights right now?
I'm going to stop because I'm going to answer that question for him. I done been around this guy for the last 10 years. And when I tell you this, I'm not saying this because he right here. I've told you this.
Right.
When it comes to the game of basketball, I've never seen anybody that was tick for tat, just mentally. Like, I ain't seen him really doing a whole bunch of writing. No. Like, he got it right here. Like, we would come into practice. He had an understanding of, we're going to do this, this, and this. And this leads to this, this, and this. On the offensive end, when we would do shooting drills, that drill led into the set that we was going to run.
See, he got that from me, though, because I saw how you build
that
drill.
No. But the catch on that, I seen that live because I was with it.
Where we at with it is all of our drills are predicated on game situations.
Yes.
So now, when they go back to muscle memory, now, when you go through the drills and you go through it so long, when you get in the game and you happen to see that same thing form, now you go back to, wait a minute, I did this move 1,000 times, I hit this shot 1,000 times. Now maybe we can get some confidence within ourselves and maybe we can knock that down. And when you knock the first one down, it's over with.
Right. So like the Iverson cut drill. Yeah. We had a set. What was the set we used to run?
Cross series.
Cross series came right off the Iverson cut. And it was, like you said, after you done it right here in the practice, in the game it was a live set. We catching and we ripping and get to the rim. So everything is a build-up.
So Des, how how important is muscle memory when it comes to these young guys? I mean, in your estimation.
It's important in everything you do, every aspect. Basketball is 3 components. You got the mental aspect, and you got the physical aspect. We also got weightlifters. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now we got weights, we got on the court, and we got the mental aspect. So all of it goes into one. So muscle memory is going through all components and continue to grow in that aspect or whatever you're working on and get better at it. Like it's very important, and it's gonna happen, but it's sort of like second nature. Once you start going through these drills and using the terminology, it's just like using terminology. Once you start using the terminology, all of a sudden, you in the supermarket, and you and your son walking, and he come up to you and be like, oh, supercut.
Yeah. Right. And see that, and you went through that with that, to know the difference between coming off a pick and roll and a ball screen.
Yeah, a lot of kids don't know the difference. You know what I mean? The difference between a pick and roll and a ball screen is, a pick and roll, the dribble is live. Ball screen, you holding it and you waiting for the action to come.
Right.
But you tell that to 95% of the kids, they wouldn't know it, and it's not their fault.
Exactly.
And the other part is, that's where you start separating those who think they know about the game to those that really know about the game. When you start to talk about terminologies and why this makes sense for that. Listen, the other thing, this guy, he being modest because he ain't mentioned anything about the app. He ain't mentioned anything about the dribble bridge. So you got to understand, this is a one-stop shop right here with my guy right here. You know, like whatever you choose. Like I used to tell, hey man, listen, we need a zone set. The next thing I know, I have 30 plays sent to the email.
Hey, look though. You know, see, look, I've been stealing from him. They didn't notice it this season.
Oh, they ain't know?
They didn't notice it this season with a couple things in there. But I got y'all next year. But I had to let the author know first.
Okay.
I'm just saying this. Mario
when I'm leaving a game and it was a loss and he's over there watching and listening, we done did a good job.
Look, Mario and I talk, being a former coach, coaching at the same time, coaching on different sides of the world. Man, we would have conversations and he would just talk about how much then your knowledge on the game was. You know, I never got a chance to be around you like that, man. But I always respected how you taking some guys just like, you took a kid, he was like Play-Doh, and you turned this kid into a totally different. I watched you do it with a guy like Jamario Davidson way back in the day. JB, JJ Hickson. There's so many other guys. You know, just speak to that though.
Okay, well, you know what I mean? What it is what I wanted to do was being around the NBA game in the late 90s, just being with Shareef Abdul-Rahim his rookie year and so forth and so on, I learned a lot about the game. And what I said, my motto was, you know what if I could teach this to a 13-year-old for 6 or 7 years straight? By the time he get to that level, he'll be light years ahead of his competitors because he didn't learn basketball at a youth level.
Right.
He learned pro basketball at a youth level.
Right.
So now, in a sense, he's not a rookie. He's been a pro for the last 6 years. He just wasn't mature enough physically and so forth and so on. And that was what I wanted to do. Take a pro mentality and approach and apply it to these players. Now, I'm going to look at you as a player and I'm going to say, you know what? You may be a certain size now, but what will you be in the future?
Right.
And whatever you're going to be in the future, that's what we're going to work on. So I hate to say it, but I may look at the shoulder width. I may look at how high how high your butt is on your.
Hey, listen, man, y'all thought I was telling y'all.
Whoa. But see, I like that. No, listen, I like that because when people say, "Oh, they're not ready," if you've been playing basketball so much and been in the right system and have people like you looking at them, at that point now it's just about my body going into it because I know the action.
So you got to understand this. Kids would come in the gym and right off the pop, couple plays, he got it. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Jaylen Brown came to Wheeler. He had him a little bit before he came in his freshman summer, and we had some studs in that gym that summer. Of everybody in the gym, He said, Mays, this the one right here.
That goes back to you then.
I'm talking about before he ever stretched, because when he came in that summer, he was 6'2". He wasn't no 6'5" when he came in. He was 6'2".
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Put you on the spot. What's the best guy you've ever worked with?
Depending on what. You got work ethic. You got
I want to ask this one. Work ethic.
Can he ask
right
one?
No. I want to go. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down. You gotta understand, man. There's a science to what we do.
I understood,
but he's trying to give you the science. Go ahead. I want the work ethic.
Work ethic. J.J. Hickson, hands down. Talent wasn't there at first, and I'll tell you the story how I met him. We played against him, and he was playing with a YMCA team. And I said, Coach, when we played against him, you know what I mean, the energy was there. He was 6'5". He was just running as a freshman, just running up the floor. I said, Coach, that's the one right there. So now, fast forward, I talked to the young fella. I said, hey, you want to get in the gym and work? He said, sure. We had a game at Georgia Tech, and we invited him to the game. I'm driving to the game. I see a young fella with a basketball walking to Georgia Tech. Just got off the bus. I looked, who was it?
J.J. Hickson.
He didn't wait for a ride. He didn't wait for anything. He wanted to get there himself. So you know what I did? I drove right past him. Now when you get to the gym, we about to work.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Got up every day, never complained, did everything that he was asked for. Talent level wasn't there at first. He was a blue-collar guy. Everything he did, he earned because he worked at it, and he got after it. Now, he wasn't the most talented in his class. Out of Kevin Love, Mike Beasley, Derrick Rose, and so forth and so on, and Blake Griffin, but nobody worked as hard as him, and that's how he became a McDonald's All-American. Because 6 o'clock every morning, he was at the gym getting his work in before school.
Who's the most talented guy you ever worked with?
Ooh. At the youth level or pros?
Just the youth level.
Youth level, natural talent, Jaylen Brown, hands down. Jaylen Brown, hands down, natural talent. He has a lot of things with him that you still haven't seen yet. And I'm going to tell you, he's not going to be great until he slows the game down. That's when he's really going to hit that pinnacle. Right now, because if you see him, he's still making some of the same mistakes he made while he was in high school.
Yeah.
And the reason why is he can do so much that when it comes, he's right into it. When he sits back and stays and say, you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to pick you apart. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to surgically just remove you from the game. That's when he's going to be an all-star, and we're talking about potential Hall of Fame talent because he's athletic, he has a great body, he has a great motor, his IQ is off the charts, both on and off the court. He can handle the basketball, he can shoot the basketball. Now, I just gave you 7 components. Which one don't apply to the game?
Right. Pretty much. And the most important one is the mental component with him. And he's strong. He's strong mentally, man. Very strong. Well, hey, man, I know you got to get back to work, but one thing I'm going to say is this. I ain't calling you G no more. Boss Hall.
I'm about to get this BH popping. Fellas, it was a pleasure. I really, listen, the platform that we have is nothing without guys like yourself. And the reason being is, let me tell you something. A kid in California right now could be going through a gym, could be playing, could be doing something astronomical, extraordinary. But if he don't have a camera on him, sometimes it goes for naught. And this is one of the things that I wanted to do for our kids because we're going to put a camera on you everywhere you go. And the reason being is, one thing you do, great players, your reputation gonna always beat you to the gym before you get there. Yep. And with this visibility and this platform that we have, all of these players in here gonna become household names. And when they get to their circuit, when they get to the EYBL, Under Armour, when they get to the Adidas Gauntlet, everybody's gonna know who they are, especially college coaches and those that need to know. So once again, without guys like yourself, all of the media here, this wouldn't be possible. It's easy to get them together. It's easy to put the work in because we do it every day. but it's hard to make sure that the platform is done and put out in the form that it's put out. And I want to just testament to you guys, and I want to thank you.
I can't nothing up. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Now it's time to get back to work.
Yeah. Desmond Eastman, Grassroots United, right here on SUV TV from Core 4. That's just a lot of knowledge drop. And wherever they go, SUV TV, we're going to be there in some form of fashion because it's the home of Grassroots. And I mean, Mario, like you said, you done seen it up in person, but I think that's what the people needed to see and be able to hear right here and on the platform. You know, part of the Hoop Circle. Mario Mays, Barry Brown, I'm Joe Hill.
Hey, man, if you're looking for basketball, we got it for days in many ways.
I love it.
Great situation to be in. If you're not in the building, I don't know where you at. You better get in here.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's anybody in the state of Georgia, basketball player, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
I just keep looking around. They're rotating the stations now, so you know, just the work that you're gonna be able to do at each station is just outstanding. And you're working with, as he said, with the different trainers. We had the itinerary that was there. We got the control scrimmage coming up later on. That'll be after lunch. Team break at the basket. You're gonna review your sets, and I think we were talking about it earlier as far as AAU get this rep or get that rep. We know that, but see, and I think you was on when I was talking about it. When these teams start going deep into their respective AAU tournaments and winning them, they already got the advantage.
Yeah, man, and then on top of that, I think it's about 10 kids in this building that's top 100 kids.
Yes.
And they're right here in this state. Just again, another testament to the work that's been done, the work that has continued. And also, you know, the other thing, man, that you know, we heard Des talk about is, you know, just kids having that work ethic to help them get from one phase of their game to the next, to stretch their game and make them all-around players. Very important. Very important.
Looking at this drill right here with Brendan Tucker just went through it. Good gracious. That first step, and that wasn't even full speed. You had the AOT boys down there, this Atlanta Celtics. Hallman finishing.
So I got a question. Has it been anybody that you guys seen that's been a surprise to you here?
Yeah, but I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to hold on to it until we get to the control scrimmage portion.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Yeah.
You going to hold on to it?
Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it. There's a reason for it.
Okay.
There's a reason. There's a rhyme to the reason. It's building up the drill.
Okay.
To run the set.
Okay. We'll take it.
Muhammad trying to show some range behind us. Hagen's now off the top.
Man, I forgot we had some action going on behind us.
Yeah. Core 4. 2 NBA courts. This one has the college line on it. This NBA court is strictly an NBA court. Don't have the college lines on it. Yeah, you need that roster now. No.
Yeah.
You can't go nowhere without it. I'm just looking at Muhammad again, trying to hit the jumper, and they're stepping out at the 20'6" mark. Higgins bottoms his out. And here we got, let's see, okay, we're on this court here with, there's Brandon Suggs stepping through. Akinbola is just so long.
I mean, but you look at him and you look at Jared Jones and see a kid from Fertile Prep?
Yeah, that's Atlanta Celtics, yeah. Bethea, there goes Tucker. Hallman. Nice height over there.
I really didn't get to see a lot of Tucker this year. Barry, if you could describe his game, how would you describe it? And Joe too, because I know Joe.
Yeah, Joe is really high on it, man. I just think he's a player, though. I mean, you know, some kids you look at. One thing we used to say is, you look at a kid and say, man, he got that juice. And that's one of those kids.
You saw that explosion right there? I think it's the best first step in the state. If not, the quickest first step in the state.
Okay, Joe, now put your evaluation cap on. What does he got to tighten up?
Jumper. Got to be a little bit more money. A little bit more money to it. Because off the dribble, you can't go at him. Defensively, he's sound. The jumper just needs to tighten up. The athletic ability is there.
So on the college level, you see him more as a two-man?
Yeah.
A slasher or?
Right now, because the J need a little bit more work for me. It's decent, but it need to drop in there a little bit more. It need to tickle some twine a little bit more often. Because he's going to beat you off the first step. So 15 feet is going to be good. Hallman, his J has came along. We saw that in the Newton game.
Right, made some big shot. He hit the corner three ball. Yeah. We talked about, and Mario, you weren't here when we talked about Rico Hallman's defensive prowess.
Yes.
You know, we were talking about the only two people that were able to slow down Ashton Higgins this year was Norcross.
Well, I was there when
Rico Hallman.
Yeah. I was there. I thought he did as good as anybody has been able to do when you start talking about trying to slow down Ashton. And then he shot, you know, he does what he does on the other end, shoot the three-point ball real good.
This AOT though, I'm telling you. They have it all. Point guard, small forward, the height. And Brandon Boston, I don't think he's through growing, is he?
Huh?
He's not finished growing.
No. What are you, a sophomore?
Yeah, he's sophomore.
And already has the outside range.
Looking over here at this game elite squad. Muhammad. Lamont Sam.
Sam's from Jenkins.
One of the ones that helped Coach Brian make that run.
Make the run.
State championship.
See, that's Georgia. So, I mean, that's coming from Savannah area.
Coming out of Savannah.
Malachi Rose, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's just a loaded gymnasium. That's a nice jump right there. Knocked that down. Got to the spot, caught it. Two back-to-back. Those some of the drills sometimes you want to compete as a team, see if everybody can knock down their J. So, Barry, what's the nickname for Messiah Thompson?
You know what?
You'll have to work on it.
I had to work on it. I got one. That Mario got a little engine that could.
Nah, we gon'. That's what. Nah. You more creative than that.
Yeah.
You must be out of gas today.
I ain't out of gas yet.
You hit a grand slam with the Boss Hog.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, nice.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question.
Nice
How many potential pros do y'all see in here?
I was trying to stay away from that. I was trying to stay away from that. That's such a dicey question.
Yeah, it's one thing I say about that.
That's a little dicey. That's why I was trying to. I thought about it, but I want to stay away from that.
Potential is one thing, but I guess the biggest thing I think about is so many things got to happen for that potential to maximize and turn into that.
And just like Dez was talking about, he might not have the most talent right now. He could work hard and work his way up to that point.
Hey, that was amazing when he was talking about J.J. Hicks. I didn't know that story.
But I'm going to tell you this, even when you say you might not have the most talent, I think the toughest part is the mental makeup. Man, there's a lot of kids that do have the talent. But mentally, it's so many different ins and outs that you got to be able to get over the hump to finish. When you start talking about this game, man, I've seen a lot of kids that were high major players, McDonald's All-Americans, and sooner or later they fall off the face of the map, man. You got to have something between those ears, man.
I know it's John Madden in football, but he used to always say half of the game is 90% mental.
It is. And that's never going to change, man. Ever.
To the corner. Muhammad has been shooting the jumpers a lot during this set. Flat to the corner. Dribbles and a pass. Well, Coach Mark Edwards, he stopped the drill because they were taking more dribbles and not making a fundamentally sound chest pass.
Now remember what we talked about when we started talking about being coachable.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And this is the portion of it where you're going to see it, especially once you get to control scrimmage.
And I'm going to tell you something, man. This is the difference early in learning how to be able to win and lose ball games with small details. Like you just talked about, you know, the point that Mark made. Small details win games, man. Small details allow you to be able to make plays. And it's very interesting to watch and see who can pick up on the small details and do the small things.
Of course, you got the conductor. He knows how to do that, right?
Yeah.
2 dribbles and boom.
Good looking jump shot from the big shot.
Muhammad.
Yeah, not bad.
It's coming around.
Seeing who will be able to keep their shoulders square and finishing a jump shot opposed to a guy that's dipping and leaning and not keeping his head in his shot. All of that counts, man.
Right.
And shoulders square. Especially on the jump shot. Would you agree? Just a general question. It's easier to square up when you're dribbling to your left or your right-hand shooter?
Well, one of the things, I don't think I'm seeing some guys, but I've always been taught to catch that ball in the pocket. So if you coming down the floor, you watch a guy like Ray Allen. You go watch old Ray Allen. Ray Allen's coming down the floor the whole time with his hands like this. So as soon as that ball touches his hand,
but then so many people try to figure out how does he get such a quick release?
And that's why.
But it's the small things.
And then you have to make sure you got a good pass.
Right.
Hit him in the hand.
But even like we used to do shooting drill sometime with a bad pass, because everything ain't gonna be a good pass.
Exactly.
But it doesn't change. Excuse me, your rhythm and your routine. Regardless of where you catch that ball at, you know you got a routine to get that shot off. And that's one of the most important things in the keys. What's happening, my man? Good to see you. All right.
Out here conducting stuff, Ashton Higgins.
But if you look though, it's taking guys time though, because they got to fumble with the ball sometimes. But I think if you're coming down the floor and you're like you're ready. I saw Mario Mays do that at CBA Sports.
What's that now?
I said I saw you do that at CBA Sports. You was waiting on the pass. You and Joe, you know.
Put it in my hands, man.
You know what's sad? Neither one of y'all ever challenged me. Y'all think because I was a big guy.
No, don't start that. You've never participated.
I'm tired of that.
You've never participated.
One day I'm going to show y'all I can make jumps.
You've never participated. And see, I know you're a leftist, so I'm just going to push you right.
See, one thing that I learned not to do with my boy,
Barry,
don't count him out on anything. Everything is everything.
I don't count Barry out. He just brought it up. But you know that day he talking about, he did sit there though. And then he always come in with the church shoes on.
I believe he might get dunk on you in them church shoes.
Hey, listen, if you ain't played ball with your dress shoes and dress socks on before, you know when one of them tights, he ain't hoop.
Other thing too, man, we gotta give Mr. Mark Edwards a plug for the Monstar Lab. If you're trying to get your training on, you need to go visit him. We got a great setup over there, man. Vertimax, the whole 9 yards. As we heard Dan speak, we heard him talk about that component of the weights and the strength and conditioning also added to being an elite player. A lot of kids these days are just concerned with, oh, I was in the gym. But at the same time, you got to put in your work from the standpoint of strength and conditioning, so you can make sure that your body is ready to take a season of pounding and grinding. So it's a lot put into making guys into special players, man.
Now you done flipped the drill over him. He was coming over on the right wing and right corner. Now you're going left wing and left corner.
Probably one of the best high school tournaments in the country this year with hoops given. You got Chris Williams with.
Hey, all I can say is this: that event has turned into a must-play. Better be there. If you're not there, you're gonna hear about it. So my question to you is, what was your thoughts behind just putting that situation together?
You got a lot of our guys that leave the state around the holiday time to go play another event. And I feel like Georgia and Atlanta metro area especially is a hotbed right now for talent. So why let our guys leave and we can bring national teams and players in to play against our guys instead of leaving them in the state and bring a good event for the state of Georgia. This year is the 5th year anniversary, so it's actually going to be even better this year. It's probably going to be the best year. It's hard to top the game with last year with Trey Duval and Colin Saxon. That was lightning in the bottle. But this year, the 5th anniversary will be big time.
I mean, then you're coaching that Game Elite team with Ashton Hagens, a couple other guys. Tell us about those guys.
It was a hell of a season last year when we left the Stars and went over to Adidas, played 17U. You got Ashton, Josh Nickelberry, 2 top 5 guys in their position, and then Jay Will down from South Georgia, 6'7", coming off a season where he averaged 30 and 15. And we pick up some new guys as well. Then you got Issa, who had a hell of a end of the season with Norcross as well. Issa Muhammad, 6'9". So just adding pieces around those guys and going to have another great season.
Now I'm going to ask you, man, because Mario and I have coached on the high school level. How hard is it to coach tremendous talent? I mean, you know, you coach in high school, you might coach, well, Mario there, Wheeler, so he had about 7 studs to coach at the time. But
I'm not gonna. I ain't even gonna say how hard.
How hard is it, or is it hard for you to get guys to buy in?
I had those guys probably since they was 9th grade, especially Ashton. But when you got a guy like Ashton on your squad who is basically an extension of me, and you got guys they basically family to me now, so they listen to what I say, and if I don't say it, Ashton's saying it. So Ashton's that type of kid. He got that dog in him, where if you not playing hard, he gonna be like, Coach, get this dude out the game. And he's not saying it to get on their ass, but he's saying it because he means well. And that's just the group we have. I mean, we spend a lot of time together in the summertime and in the springtime, and they all know each other. They all compliment each other game. Ashton makes Josh a better player. Josh makes Ashton a better player, and vice versa with Jay Will and Issa. All those other guys. Quinn Ritchie, who's player of the year in his region. Great grades as well, be an Ivy League quality player. And it's just great having those guys. I mean, none of them are knuckleheads, great guys as they are on the court, same gentlemen they are off the court as well.
So talk about with Ashton Hagens considered the #1 point guard in the 2019 class. Speak to us a little bit about Ashton.
Pass first guard, and he picks up 94 feet. Last year in the NBA camp, he led the camp as a sophomore with leading the camp in steals and assists, and then for a minute, he led all 3 circuits with steals and assists as well. At playing 17U, he led EYBL, Under Armour, and Adidas in assists. So he had a hell of a summer. And then just coming off the high school season, just had Gatorade Player of the Year. Probably led the state of Georgia in triple doubles as well. And he just has the passion to want to get better and play hard. Arguably, he's #1 point guard in the country, but if you ask me, he's hands down the #1 point guard in the country 2019. When I seen him going against the Tiger Campbell and the Cole Anthonys and all those guys as well.
So tell me, what's your thought process as it pertains to this event right here? Taking multiple grassroots organizations and putting them under one roof and getting this done.
I think it was a dope idea altogether. You got 4 top teams in the country that all come together in one event, under one building, just to get some work in. Because the work they're getting right now is like NBA Combine type work. And it was a good idea to come up, for Dez to come up with this idea. Most teams, most programs across the country, you don't see do this because they worry about guys stealing each other players and all that type of stuff. And even in the state of Georgia, for a long time, the basketball industry has been a crab in a barrel type environment, especially among the African Americans. So for us to come together and do something like this with me, Coop, Rico, Joey, and have our teams all in here and just getting working together is just gonna make our squads better for the summertime. And it's great that we can all come together in one city and just get some working all together.
Well, man, look, we look forward. I know you got to get back to grinding. We look forward, man, to seeing who's giving. I know we're gonna see you on the circuit, man, and just when you see us, shout out SUV TV and Hoop Circle, man.
And also, man, we just appreciate you promoting this game in the state.
Right.
Appreciate everything you're doing with Hoops Giving, because it continues to shine a light on the state from the standpoint of talent, and people want to come here and play against the talent. So salute you what you're doing, bro.
Appreciate you guys. Definitely shout out to SUV TV and Hoop Circle, and I appreciate you guys having me on, all right?
All right.
For those that have tuned in to the Grassroots United workout up to this point, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to take a break shortly. We'll have part 2 of this workout on starting around 3:45 p.m. So We're going to take a break. The players will get lunch, we'll get lunch. But thanks for joining us here on SUV TV for the Grassroots United workout. And we'll be back with part 2 right around 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned. Follow SUV TV on Twitter at SUV TV.